Paul and I just like dogs. Good evening, Saturday night, 7 o'clock, best place to be. Welcome, viewers. This is Transformers the Show. I'm your host, Alexis. Paul is again detained, unfortunately. He'll be here shortly, we hope. I'm joined by my other co-hosts tonight. We've got the wonderful Andy and the illustrious Jamie. We are joined by two exceptional guests tonight. We have got ExillionXLR, aka Brad.
Howdy.
And we've got the wonderful Bumblejumper82, aka Ed.
Hi, guys.
Tonight on the show, we've got all the news, all the reviews. We've got Studio Series Grimlock, Studio Series Kup, Blur and Jazz. If that was enough, we've got the Purple Potato himself coming on. We've got X-Transbots Kup, and then Darius is here as well. He's been wondering what to do after he did a bit of Pop Idol, and he's coming back tonight to do a special one-on-one interview with Paul the Man Farrelly. Anyway, time for the news.
Right, Z News.
I talk some TV, and now the news. Don't touch that dial.
So we start off as always with Hasbro news. So we have leak, reveal, I suppose, of the Authentics Shockwave, which looks very much like side of the Shockwave there.
It's got like
Do we have any idea
pipe.
of scale?
You know what? I think we get a better idea from Barricade. So Barricade was the other figure from this line that's kind of been leaked here, so we can see him. They're not the greatest photos in the world, but we get a good look at the head sculpt there. And
I sure hope that grey is beige. This is
Like
like
that.
this is like a really nasty dilemma of we've got 3 cars, but the dog's too big for all of them.
Why are we
A
looking
terrible dilemma.
Was it one of you guys, Brad or Ed, who mentioned that there is some doubt as to whether this is completely?
We don't know whether this is legit, do we?
So this
No.
is Masterpiece.
We do know, but the person can't take a
Bumblebee movie
photograph of
Prime.
shit, though, don't we? I mean,
They're always like this. It's
Carries a
almost
phone
like
this shit.
Yeah,
I think it's the same photographer they use for all the Bigfoot photos.
but it is. I mean, possibly a Masterpiece Bumblebee movie Optimus Prime. Which, if you're a Masterpiece collector and you love the movies as well, you're going to be excited about that. I suppose.
Tommy, isn't it? So
Just say it explains why they came down so hard on Toy World for their Toy World Bumblebee Prime, because obviously you tend to find if it's something that's normally be released or something that's movie related, the movies are the big bucks for the Hasbro, right? The stuff which we buy is like cool, but the movies where them. So if you go after that stuff, they always shut them down.
And then anyway, there's a Monopoly. So we've got a new version of Transformers Monopoly, which has all of your 6 favorite characters, unless you don't like them. But they are the big characters.
They replaced the train stations with. I'm quite interested.
Space Bridge, isn't it?
Ah,
We've got Iacon City Space Bridge. Yeah, we've got Quintessas on there. Decepticon Base.
not fun. They don't run on Steam.
Junkion. Shockwave Space Bridge. So yeah, Space Bridge is what's replaced the train station. You can still go to jail with the same picture of the jailer. It would be nice
It's the
if
same
they
picture as the jailor.
Ultra Magnus or something. You know, some knackered old 1930s car up there as well for and the jail. But you know, it's quite cool. I mean, I've got
It's
one
nice,
of the first versions of Transformers Monopoly they did, and it's looking a bit old and a bit dated now, but it's still G1 themed. So you know, if people haven't got it, I bet they'll be interested. And
Nice.
you've got the 6 characters to play as: Prime, Bumblebee, and Grimlock for the Autobots, and Megatron.
I might just get it for the little
Soundwave.
models, to be honest. I don't think I would want it to be playing.
Do you know what? I just think it looks cool. It's one of those things you could put on a shelf and it looks really cool, even if you never play the damn thing. It's
But
there.
you won't, will you?
Oh well, I won't because I hate Monopoly. And then there was some comparison side shots for the upcoming HasLab Unicron, just to show off how big he really is and how he might look in your collection if you have some of these other bots.
If you lie him down, he's even taller.
Oh, the same. Oh,
Says
yeah.
that on Ed's Tinder profile.
You put on the DL.
And there's is it the back of his legs? So you can see how the shell folds down and then into the legs. I mean,
Serious calves.
I don't know if it would
Quite
bother me
clever.
personally that much. I
Oh,
saw
I'd be
some
alright with
comments about it online, but I don't know what you guys think. I mean, Jamie and Alexis, you have it pre-ordered, don't you?
I don't care. He's going to be big. That's all that matters.
Mine's gonna be in planet mode anyway, so
Full silhouette.
That's what you'll
That'd
have in
be
his
nice.
Tinder profile. I'm big. That's all.
And by big, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
And there's the
You can have a little runt if you want, or you can have me.
That backpack, again, I don't mind that so much. Because
It's neat,
actually,
isn't it?
it puts it all away. You know, it's got to go somewhere, and otherwise it would be a much more parts forming as well. And then we had some breaking news that was on TFW 2005 earlier in the week about Studio Series 86 Voyager Retgar and Sweep. So we've got no pictures.
Does this mean that people shouldn't be army building Scrooge then? Are they just going to go, oh fucking hell, I've like pre-ordered like
I'm glad you brought
6 of
that up.
these.
Well, it'd be interesting to see what the differences are. I mean, some people are saying, well, probably just have a slightly different shade of blue and a different color face or something.
But they'll just,
because
still,
they look just like him. So
it'll
Different
still
nail polish.
destroy them inside, won't it?
different nail.
You'll get to see
grooming
the
as
people
well.
who ordered 6 Scrooges trying to sell them off now and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
So Retgar will presumably have some accessories because he's a Voyager. What do you reckon he'll have?
Well, he'll have the weapons, the different weapons. So
That is
he'll
weird.
have the axe, the shield.
Hopefully
He'll have a TV in his
Little
chest.
TV, yeah.
It depends, because if it's, as we'll
movie,
see when
isn't
you get
it?
onto Studio Series Grimlock, because they're themed around their appearance in the movie, their accessories should be themed around things that have something to do with the movie as well, which is what there's, as we'll discuss when we look at Studio Series Grimlock, there's been more debate about what you get with him and why you don't get certain other things, and it kind of all ties into that. But I'd just be interested, because I loved Retgar. I had the original Retgar toy, and when I was a kid, I thought it was great. I mean, now as an adult, I can see that it's mostly trash. But as a kid, I really liked it. So to get a really good Studio Series Retgar will be fantastic. Because
Although it's going to be kind of weird with those things coming from his nipples, won't it?
I'm
They
up
go
for it.
that.
it's never
Yeah.
bothered me.
And then they'll probably have that sort of oil can. They'll probably come up with something like that.
Yeah. Anyway, Transformers Beast Alliance is the other kind of big-ish news. So there has been a production call, which has appeared in somewhere in some magazine or something in the US, for people to come and work on a film that is apparently going currently under the tag name Transformers Beast Alliance. Now, sometimes obviously the names of films go through a lot of changes. Sometimes they'll put a false name on the film to try
Sounds
and
like a
throw people off the
bestiality
scent.
group, doesn't it? Beast Alliance.
Beast
That's
Alliance.
what I'm hoping for.
For men who like it hard.
It's actually all going to be about furries. But
How'd
it's,
you contact them?
For people like cashback, others like bite back. You know.
They take PayPal.
that's the name of the dolphin character, Biteback. But it's interesting. I mean, Beast Wars fans have been crying out for more to do with Beast Wars. We've got it in the Kingdom line, so they're obviously kind of trying to test the waters and see how that goes, what reaction they get. I don't know if they've got that much faith in it, they will go to a film, but this would suggest they're going to. We'll have to wait and see, I suppose.
Maybe it'll be
Anybody
another Hasbro
excited for that?
Kickstarter.
Is anybody a big fan of Beast Wars?
Yeah, I like
Like
Beast Wars. I
Beast-
prefer
like
Beast
Beast
Machines
Wars.
to Beast Wars.
Oh,
We all are, mate.
I can tell.
definitely think so.
Awesome. So this is Fans Hobby. It's the next one in the line for Transformers Energon, which supports Naval Commander. Now, I don't know the name of this character. I can't remember the name of the character, but he's got a wonderful transforming trailer, which if you flick to the next picture, he looks like a bit like Prime there. So I'm assuming it might be an alternative version of Prime. I don't know if anyone knows Energon.
It's
the
Energon
Energon
Optimus
Prime,
Prime.
yeah.
Okay. there we go.
Batimus.
Sorry, when you said you didn't know the name of the character, I thought you meant you didn't know the name of what they're calling the toy.
No, because
like
I thought Naval
or
Commander
whatever.
was their version of Prime. I haven't watched.
Well, he's
Energon properly.
Armada. He's
Armada,
Armada
yeah.
Prime. Isn't
Oh,
he? So it's
okay,
the
that's
next
This would be
British
Energon.
stage.
Okay.
Energon
okay.
Big Fat.
Fantastic.
Fatimus Prime.
He doesn't look as fat though, does he?
He doesn't
They
look
seem to
as
have
fat
slimmed
anywhere
him
near
down,
as
haven't
fat.
they?
Yeah, I've got the big fat one over there. He's a wompter.
That Naval Commander looks
Yeah,
so sweet.
it's just so nice. But I
It
think we're
does look
getting
good.
the rumor is we're getting Armada and Unicorn trilogy stuff anyway in the Generations.
Didn't they
line,
announce
isn't
it like 2
So this
years
is-
ago and no one's heard anything since?
Yeah.
There's a number of extra
Chunky
photos that
helicopter.
I didn't chuck in just because I thought we'll be here all night just looking at the photos of this. But it showed how you can have the different configurations of the trailer. And I thought this was quite an interesting one, just because of the way you can have the Micromasters, kind of interacting
Yeah,
with it
I
as
think
well.
it's about time third parties started to do Micromasters more. That'd
Well,
be
you see,
awesome.
this I wonder if the reason they don't is just because they wouldn't make enough money out of it. Like they wouldn't. The bigger Transformers you can charge a higher price for. If you were doing Micromasters, you probably wouldn't be
No,
able to
but
charge
they
high
could
enough
do-
It's
prices.
Legends-
the Legends Transformers, so are like 15 quid. So if you do the 4-pack, you'd be able to sell a 4-pack for 30 quid. Yeah,
Like
easy.
a full 4-pack of one of the original lines.
Now, we showed a little bit of this last week, didn't we?
New Studios. This is new images of Raiden. So you can pre-order this at multiple places. TFS Express, Terry's Fans Club are the ones I've seen it advertised at. You can order all 6 now, pre-order at once. They're in packs of 2. And they look like nice bots. This is the first MP scale version we have of Raiden. And then my theory is, again, I know it's not, but my theory, I've been corrected, but I think it's done by, this is like a sign of Unique Toys or something, I've been told. So,
Toon
I don't know.
Studio.
Going to be massive.
Was that Moon Studio? Sorry.
Yeah.
Moon Studios, yes.
Right.
Moon Studios, sorry, yes.
They look good. The prototypes.
Yeah, definitely.
Level of detail.
Like, yeah, that one on the left very much says Lithuania to me. I'm digging that.
Eastern European trade.
Does it give you memories of going to Lithuania?
It does. It's a
Which
good
is
pair of
always the most
sneakers,
exciting part of a combiner. And then their bot modes again. But looking
There we
pretty
go.
good.
They're beautiful.
Indeed they are. So, and here we have Lucifer from the Satan range from TFC. This is aka Cutthroat. This is the 4th edition. This is one of the ARM bots, and it looks pretty good. I love the colours. They've gone for really flamboyant colours across all their bots. What do you lads think?
He seems really colourful compared to the other photos we saw.
Yeah, I think they are very cutthroat colours. That's the thing. I mean, they're very colourful, but then again, the Terracons were quite colourful. So the colours just remind me of the G1 bot, and obviously we've had the Power of the Primes Terracons as well.
It's like a 90s football away kit.
It's a goalkeeper kit.
Yeah.
What was the goalkeeper?
Spot on.
David Siemens.
Yeah.
What was the goalkeeper What was the Mexican goalkeeper that used to do his own kit?
Is this Santos or something like that?
Santos, the one that used to be a striker and the goalkeeper.
Always like had bright colours on.
Yeah.
Free kicks.
To get his felt pens out and design his own football kit.
He's a good goalkeeper.
Yeah, he was.
And then we've got. Oh, this is the other thing, Alexis, that you.
So I can't remember the name of the company. It's down on the bottom right hand side, so everyone wants to have a go at the pronunciation. Feel free. Spike and
Carly,
isn't it? Yeah.
Carly and Spike. That's it.
Whatever happened to Carly? She just disappeared, didn't she? In the
She
show?
died.
Oh,
Did she?
Yep. Murdered.
is that fan fiction? Did you do it?
She didn't. That's
Yeah.
just what Spike.
She's not in
told me.
Transformers the
He
movie.
ran off with someone else. It's obvious.
It
Tell by the
happened
dead look in
because
his eyes.
if you notice that after the movie, Hound
I
wasn't
think
around
Transformers
much
fan
more.
fiction, and it's just
He's
about
obviously
Carly
deliberate.
getting killed, like in a proper, really hardcore way.
Like
With,
Spark, like-
and no Transformers in it at all. It just follows Carly, like CSI style, brutally murdered
In Lithuania.
in Lithuania.
Yeah, sorry. So you've got various hands there. You've got wanking hands, shaking hands, jazz hands.
I reckon these aren't
Right.
3 3/4 inches because they don't seem very detailed. I reckon they're small, like the
They said
Like me.
There they are.
2.75 inches, didn't they? I think
2.75 inches.
for the female one, I think that was.
She's not that much shorter than him.
Cool. Stunning news this week.
You missed all the good stuff.
This is the highlight, mate. This is the highlight. We built up. We knew you were coming, so.
Right, cool. So next we have a review. So we've got our first review. Andy, you are doing Studio Series Grimlock. Go ahead.
So I did take some photos, but they were literally crapped on from a great height by these incredible photos that Jamie's taken today. I think you've spent quite a bit of time on this, haven't you, today, Jamie? Getting some photos, because we both received Studio Series Grimlock on the same day. We were lucky enough to get it, pretty early from Collector's Den, which I'll talk about a bit more later on. But I mean, he is just a fantastic version of Grimlock. He's so much like the kind of spirit of the G1 toy, but just done with such incredible modern engineering. And it really makes you think of the Masterpiece as well. But because of the size of him, he's just much more toyetic. He's more fun to play with, really simple and easy to transform. If you've ever transformed G1 Grimlock, you will be able to transform this. There's a few little, obviously, things that have changed because of the incredible advancements in engineering that we've had. But it's still, simple and fun. There's some little clever bits in there. the packaging there, you see, I really like the Studio Series packaging. It's not perfect. I'd still rather see some kind of tech specs on there, but you know, it still looks really good. The artwork is fantastic. Now, this is something that some people have been talking about online, is what you actually receive. Now, he's obviously a Studio Series 86 Grimlock based from the movie appearance. And a lot of people have been saying that they'd rather have had a sword with him than get Wheelie. But as has been pointed out, if you actually watch the movie back, Grimlock doesn't actually use the sword or have the sword at any point. He has his gun, but he doesn't.
If you watch the movie
sword.
back, like we haven't seen it 1,000 times.
Well, we have, but there might be somebody out there who hasn't. You know, these bizarre people
Cobot fans
don't sit there. Yeah, exactly. These people who don't sit there watching it at least once a week just to, you know, refresh your memory. So this display stand that you get is based on the Quintesson Pit of Judgment that they obviously Quintesson courtroom that they actually raid into, the Dinobots, when they come to save Kup and Hot Rod. It looks quite nice. I mean, personally, I probably won't have it out of the box, really. I probably won't use it myself, but you know, I can see for those people who've got enough room to display them on there, it looks quite nice. And he really does fill it up. I was saying to the boys beforehand, my wife bought me a light box. It's quite a small light box, and he filled the whole thing. So I couldn't use the light box because he filled the inside of it when I was doing photos. So the fact that Jamie's got some photos with a bit more space, I mean, you can just see the detail. The only thing, or one of the few things that I'm not as keen on, is just that chest plate, which is to me, that's more like the toy than it is the actual appearance in the movie. I don't know what you thought about that, Jamie. I mean, it doesn't bother me massively, but it's just a little thing.
It's amazing when you see all the other interpretations you've done. I really like it and how it's protected, and it's not split in half, because it's clever how the chest slides down.
Yes, but that is very like the G1 toy, isn't it? I mean, that's literally the movement of taking that gold chest and you just move it out and shuffle it down.
And I love how it's painted gold, so it's not plastic gold.
Yeah.
You know, that
it looks quite
gold.
yellow, doesn't it? When you see it sometimes.
It's also because you know it's probably not going to break apart. You know, eventually.
Yeah, he's really solid. I mean, he is a big, as Jamie described him in the Facebook post today. He's a big, chunky boy. I mean, when you've got him in hand, you don't feel, or at least I didn't feel at any point, that there was anything that was going to snap off or break off, like we've seen with certain other big toy releases recently. And he's very posable for his size. You can get him into some great poses. I did have one photo of him where he's balancing on one leg with his other leg up and, you know, doing the old kung fu kick thing. And he could do that easily. And his size, I think, scales really well with a lot of the other bots as well.
You said he doesn't have a sword.
He should be bigger, shouldn't he?
Is he able to use Wheelie as like a... Yeah.
Yeah, the Hot Rod, I think they scale quite well together when you think about how they appear in the film. I think the scale is slightly different. They'll still fit in with your Chug and with your Siege kind of figures, but there is a difference. You see, I just look at the Dino mode on the left and then compare it to the last one we had, the Power of the Primes on the right, and it's just no contest. I mean, the step up in the engineering is massive.
Apart from front teeth, if you go back a photo, the one on the right has got the best front teeth.
Well, the one on the left, yeah, maybe lacking front teeth, but I can live with it. I'll buy
next picture, though, is that Power of the Primes? That one looks dreadful comparison, doesn't it?
Ooh,
it does there, yeah. I mean, people could say as well that, you know, maybe the tail section there, that was one thing that was pointed out. Some people have received theirs, and when transforming him into his Dino mode, his tail section, the two legs clip together. But for some people, it keeps popping back open, so they've got a bit of a gappage down the middle of his tail. Now, I haven't got that problem with mine. I'm assuming from what I've looked at on your photos, Jamie, you haven't had that problem either.
I mean, the one thing I loved about the engineering there is when you look at the leg, there's a tab with the knee, so it can keep its strength if you need to, or you could take that tab out so you could bend his knee and get into other poses. But I do love the fact to have that tab where the knee is, so it could be really nice and strong, you know, so you could watch, you know, he's standing like one leg, if need be, with the other leg is sort of bending. Yeah, so that's quite a good design, I think.
I hope that tab is going to be strong enough over time as well. I mean, it seems pretty sturdy, but just obviously if you're using it a lot, tabbing it in and out, I do wonder whether there might be that slight risk of a little bit.
And as you said, you know, Andy, I do think his proportions are spot on there.
Yeah. I mean, look, he should be that much bigger than Prime.
Yeah,
When you think back to the G1 cartoon, you know, he was much larger and he was incredibly strong and powerful.
It's spot on, virtually, with the G1 cartoon.
You do get wheelie with him, as we mentioned.
And he looks really poseable.
He is, yeah. It's strange because I get what they were going for. They wanted a wheelie who could replicate that whole thing of sitting astride him as he goes into the Quintesson court, and I get that. But the fact that you can't bend his legs at all, so he stays in a permanent squat position, like he's just permanently taking a crap, it is a bit annoying. Mine will probably go back in the box because I just don't see a lot point in, and I prefer the was it Titan's Return wheelie that we have.
Oh, it's a great wheelie.
Which you can kind of sit on him in a similar position, but obviously he doesn't secure or tab in like this one does. So
does your one tab in?
There's tabs either side of his neck, and it's a bit fiddly, but you can get at least one of his legs to tab into the side of it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So easily. Have a little look. I don't know if it's deliberate, but there's one on each side of his neck, so it might be worth just having a look. But I say I managed to get the Titan's Return one to be able to sit on him in his shoulder in robot and in Dino mode, but it wasn't massively secure. It would work for photos, but yeah, you wouldn't kind of play with it in that pattern.
I know you said he's got no sword, but is wheelie usable as a melee weapon?
Definitely. In any situation in life.
Relinquish.
It's the best thing for him. But yeah, I mean, that whole thing with the accessories, I totally get the desire for a sword. I wish he'd had a sword as well. But then you think about it, and he didn't have a sword in the movie. And you do wonder, we've already seen it with Centurion with the pack that came with him. You know, we might find that they'll do another one, and there'll be a pack that will come with that one. Maybe even do a deluxe sized swoop, because he was the smaller generally of the Dinobots, and stick a load of stuff in with him. But if they make swoop hard to get, I'll be so pissed off. Because, you know,
actually really surprised about how well he scales with the others as well, with the power of the Prime slot. He looked really good with them.
No, they were KOs. Oversized KOs.
The oversized ones. Oh.
Yeah.
I was going to say, Optimus Prime's trailer is not that big in real life. I've got Earthrise Prime and it's tiny.
Isn't it?
He should have left that chain. I'd have been really confused when he arrives. Like,
it's all a trick of the camera.
A little bit of perspective. That's it.
That's it. It's the angle.
He was really far away.
You should see his Tinder photographs,
the
mate.
cows all over again. But yeah, he's fantastic. I mean, I don't like. He's got back kibble. He's got the back wings, but they're posable. You can move them up and down. You can move the dino arms to position them how you want them. The head sculpt, the face. Again, people saying, "Oh, I would have preferred a red visor." Well, it's the cartoon version, so it's a blue visor. I mean, that's just the way it is for his eyes. And I actually prefer the blue. I just think it really looks good.
Well, blue was always Autobot, and red tended to be Decepticon normally, didn't it? So
red's the toy. I got the toy here. There we go.
Yeah, the original G1 toy had the red eyes, didn't it? But you had the gun storage on the back, which you haven't mentioned. You can store his rifle on his back. It just tabs into two little tabs back there. Again, I can take it or leave it. I can honestly say, for me, I don't know how you felt about it, Jamie, but I've never been. When I kind of got him and got him out of the box, I just got so many nostalgic vibes to kind of back to G1 and the whole feel of it. It's just a big chunky bot. It holds every pose. It's so solid. He's become, as Paul will understand, he's my bedtime bot at the moment. He comes and sits on the little shelf I've got next. I've had to swap sides with Claire because of a broken leg. So all my Transformers that are on the little display shelf next to our bed on what would normally be my side, she's cleared half of them away so she can have some of her stuff there. I now have a crappy little shelf to put them on. But he's there, and he's going to stay there tonight. He's going to be there to keep the cuddles.
That picture there sort of epitomizes why I love him. It's just because he just looks like the angry T-Rex from Jurassic Park chasing after a truck or the cars. You know, the size works for me.
Do you remember the story, Jamie? Dinobot, was it Dinobot Hunt? When they'd all kind of gone crazy, and when you see that, it reminds me of that as well because of your photos. And I was wondering about the other Dinobots because I was thinking how good they looked with him, and I was thinking Oh, the prime ones weren't that big, were they?
They're oversized, aren't they?
I forgot you've got the oversized ones, but I mean, yeah, just a very posable. But he feels very solid.
I really liked.
funky-
I really liked how if you what Brad said about Wheelie being a melee, and if you take his WH and put an M, it pretty much spells melee. Melee.
It does, yeah.
Maybe it was meant to be.
Is that the picture from the Transformers annual? It looks like it.
Yes, that is,
yes.
isn't it? That's a
Nice.
recreation of it.
All these images are homages from certain iconic scenes.
Ooh.
And the
Lush
Transformers.
photos, mate.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's so worth picking up. For people who've got him on pre-order and haven't received him yet, you will love him, I'm sure.
All
he's not
my
gonna be
Studio
one of the
Series
top where
pre-orders,
some-
I don't know where they are. Everyone's getting them. Mine are, I think Morrison's are delivering mine.
Yeah, okay. Be worried. I would just say that, like I say, if you're waiting on for him, he is brilliant. He's not going to be one of those bots, I don't think, that will split the fandom. Like, you know, you have the bots like
Split the
CJ
fandom.
Face, which Paul hates, but you know everybody else loves.
Oh, he's
But
classic.
you know, he's
no, I think.
This is some 8-face on 8-face action.
Oh no!
This,
Not double
this is
eight-face.
the Titans
Imagine-
Return 8-face.
imagine oversized knockoff CJ Face. Oh, that would be brilliant, wouldn't it, Paul?
Better still, a blow up doll version of CGP, something you could take to bed and have fun.
No,
Exactly. That's it. But yes,
2 faces, 2 rolls.
Studio Series Grimlock, definitely recommended. If you are gonna be getting him, you'll love him, and if you're not gonna get him, you're a fool. Go and buy him. He's fantastic.
that is awesome. Great review and amazing photos, Jamie. Absolutely blistering photos. Can we go to Jamie? You're going to do your review now.
Yeah.
You've got a few
Yeah,
sexy
I've got-
bits in the post.
Yes, so basically on Saturday morning I managed to get myself spin it in Cordon, and I actually get confused which way is which, because I think Cordon is meant to be the red one and spin out's
No.
the white.
No,
But
I
then
think
it's
Sven
other way,
Disney
other way.
Corden because of the
So the
police Corden
instructions-
thing.
All right, so police, so yeah, because the instructions were a bit confusing. I think they like switched the names, but
right.
anyway. So I got those two guys, which are I think the same Sunstreaker mold, and it was like homage to the Diaclone sort of original vehicles. And so I started taking some photos, transforming them.
Oh,
You know, and the thing is, I've got to say about these guys is, you know, they look cheap, but they don't feel it. You know, but I think this is like a lot of paint scuffs. You know, there was some stuff you had to like clean. You know, when you're paying quite a lot of money for something like that, you expect to have it a little bit more polished to the, you know, the finish, and it just wasn't there. But it does when you're transforming it, especially when you're using a bit of force. It does look strong. It doesn't feel like it's going to break in your hand, which is quite good since I used the power gel later.
that looks nice.
Well, see, this is why I'm showing you some of these photos to begin with. It looks nice from the front,
Oof.
but then I had trouble with the roofs in all 3 of my versions, including 4, because I got another Sunstreaker car. I just couldn't get the roofs down. I was having a real pain, you know, on the backside, basically, just trying to get this. I was, you know, it was really getting annoying. And I actually got so annoying, I was trying to get the roof down. I actually broke my Sunstreaker. I broke the windscreen. You know, it's just a little crack, you know, so me Lynn looked at the distraught face I had, you know, as the whole world was coming to an end. It's privilege for you. And so she decided to go to Smith's Toys and buy me another Sunstreaker.
Oh, fair dude.
And obviously the car broke down when she went there, so we ended up having to get rescued. But lucky enough, he broke down next to Halford, so they were able to come out and fix it and give us a new car battery. But anyway, we got back, and what I found out was, looking in the forums, someone was talking about how they filed down the tabs. And I didn't like the idea of filing down tabs in these molds, because it looked to me like that could be a problem, you know, especially in future. So speaking to someone else called Nick Atkin, and he came up with this idea of just slightly adjusting, well, he made a bigger adjustment. He said adjusting the actual holes the tabs fit into, which is I've highlighted there. And all I had to do was just make the smallest of nicks. And this is my good Sunstreaker copy. You know, I perfected it by the time I got to there. With other ones, I started off big and got smaller and smaller down. So potentially it was just a nick there. Other people had made it quite bigger. I think this is David Whidden's attempt, and he didn't use a power gel like me. He just used you know, a scalpel And then someone else had also used a nail, or what you call, sandpaper kind of thing. You just cut it in half and, and just, sanded it a little bit round and made these adjustments. And basically I sort of put the advice on the forums, and lots of people took this up and were adjusting these little holes. So suddenly everyone was able to get the backs nice and flush. It was like it was magic.
I think I'm going to do that as well, because mine's got the same issue.
Yeah, so I mean,
I've looked into it.
It's no problem anymore. It's just like the smallest of, it's almost like, Hasbro went out their way to torture you.
What would you use to do that little nick, Jay? What tool would you use?
Well, I used a power gel because I'm a man and I just loved the idea of getting a power gel in video. But other people were much more finesse, used scalpels, and as I said, sanded it slightly with like a nail, whatever. I don't know what females use, but I don't know. I used a power gel.
I don't know what females use. Oh dear. Someone's getting cancelled.
I'm Scottish. We don't fucking care. We were born cancelled.
An entire nation is getting cancelled.
Born cancelled.
Hey, our nation has a pink away top, and for our football and rugby teams, we were more woke than you guys will ever be. And but yeah, so absolutely flush backs, and absolutely love it. And there's my second Sunstreaker now, which is nice and new, and my other one which had the cracked screen. And so, leading on to another thing I wanted to discuss slightly, and get onto that. Yes, right. Something else which came up was black arachnia. Now, I watched a lot of reviews on this, so I was quite worried about transforming black arachnia, especially since I've had a run of bad luck with Transformers recently, trying to do Hard Panther, thanks to Paul, and I was breaking them. I even broke a couple of Micromonsters, trying to transform stuff without using instructions, sometimes drunk, maybe not.
I have to admit, though, the instructions for this girl are not particularly good.
Yeah. So basically, I was watching some reviews, and I thought, I'm going to try and transform this. And they all seem to have a terrible time putting the gun on at the very end when they put the legs in. So I just thought, well, I'll look at the instructions, and the instructions were the same. And so I decided, can you see the picture okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She looks like she's in pain.
Yeah, so I decided the way to do it is the actual hands, the claws actually fit together beforehand. And then you just put the gun in and tab it beforehand. And then you just push it down and it all clips in one easy motion. So it's just like that. And it's clipped in. Nice and done. So it's not that complicated, thing which you see on, the reviews. So if I was to take this out here, you can see it there. So if I take this out, let's see, I'll mess this up now. You can see how it's all put together, there. And all I have to do is just clip it in. Nice and easy. And I don't know if you look at the reviews, but the reviews are all having nightmares trying to do this, saying, no, Hasbro have designed this badly. There's not good engineering here. This is so fiddly. But yeah, it's actually one of the best designed ways of doing it, I think, of putting her together. Nice and simple.
I was going to say, what do you think of her? I think she's brilliant.
I think she's amazing. But my girlfriend absolutely, she absolutely hates spiders. So she was not keeping up a second one.
We're getting this, this reveal of this possible Beast Wars movie, but these toys are great. The Beasties, I wasn't even going to get them. I've got 3 of them now, and I'm probably going to get some more.
I hate Beast Wars, and I've actually got them all, and I'm getting duplicates. I think engineering is amazing.
Yeah,
and
this knocked it out of the park, really.
And I've subscribed to the comic as well. I've subscribed to Beast Wars comics. So
you're coming around, Jamie. Slowly.
Yes.
I like them. I think I didn't originally, but I think it's a really good challenge, isn't it? Having something so organic transform into something that's so robotic, which you didn't really normal transform was car, robot. You can see there's straight lines there. It's a bit easier, isn't it? It's a real challenge to get something organic. I picked up Rhinox from Generations Thrilling 30. I've still got him in the back there. He's a great robot to be such a great alt mode and such a bloody rhino in its alt mode and such a great robot mode. It's fantastic.
I mean, this is the only time I think Hard Panther was an advantage because I've transformed this without looking at any videos and instructions.
You did it without the instructions?
Yeah, that's why I
Wow.
came up with an easier method. So when I watched them do it in the videos, I was thinking, my God, that's complicated. I hope they're following the instructions. And I looked at the instructions and went, oh my God, that's complicated. And instructions, you know, they're following it. So
If you hold it up like that, upside down, Jamie, I might cut this bit out. Does it not look like a pair of yellow boobs with a penis?
I might cut this bit out. I'm not sure. I might cut it out.
I'll be back in 5 minutes. I've got a screen cap.
Jamie's just achieved his level 2
Paul,
Buddha on Hard Panther, and you're cutting it out.
the thing is, Paul, we all see what we want to see.
Right,
why
This isn't boobs. Oh, that was awesome.
and
So-
the last thing to look at is basically Kup, Jazz, and Blur came.
Oh, there
on-
they are.
And I was absolutely knackered. I've been pretty tough weeks and stuff like that, plus playing Fortnite as well. And so I didn't really have much time to take some good photos, but I managed to get them out the boxes and just to have a sort of a look at them. And they do look a lot better in hand, apart from Blur. Blur's got this kind of stalker, you know, molester type look to his face. They've got that clown face. There's just something
He
wrong
killed
about
Carly.
it.
Like he's seen a penis and 2 boobs.
It's like he's a human face behind that mask. That white mask is going to come
Is it
off.
Carly's face?
Maybe.
He cut
Maybe
it off.
ripped up-
and put
yes,
it on
it's-
him.
Yeah, I think it's just something wrong
She's
about
been
that.
Robocopped.
Oh,
Oh, dear.
This is one thing that I'm not going to take to my bedroom because it just freaked me out. Just no chance.
What about Kup? What do you think
Mainly
of
when
Kup?
you're watching this, leave this figure next to Jamie, so when he wakes up in the morning,
And Kup looks actually better than Han. He looks there like he needs to be shot and buried somewhere in the back garden, but he's actually a lot better in hand, and he's got a lot more articulation to it. And the same with Jazz and even Blur. I mean, one thing I've noticed about these models, they're lighter than the other ones, like the Titans Return versions, but they've got much more articulation and a lot easier to move in robot modes. A bit more fiddly when it comes to transforming. You know, they've got more panels and stuff, which is quite clever, and you need to click things together, which I'm not always very happy about. But, you know, that's the sort of, I guess, the sort of payment for having robot modes, which are much more flexible and much more posable.
So would you say, has that
Oh,
Jazz
look at
impressed
that
you enough
backpack.
to get rid of your, or no, not get rid of, but to replace your
Oh
reveal
God, you know,
shield?
it's actually hard. I think all 3 of them are going to make me think about this because, you know, they do scale quite well with the other bots.
oh, but Titans Return Blur. He's a bit of a god, isn't he?
Yeah.
Well, the
Yeah.
Legends version
That's
is,
the
expensive.
Legends one, isn't it?
yeah, the Legends version, definitely.
Even the other one, like
See, Titans Return Blur to me is ideal in the sense he's actually a really fun transformation.
Yeah,
Where
yeah.
Yeah.
definitely.
I think this Blur is not a fun transformation. He's easy. He's easy to do. I managed to figure it out, but he's not fun. I don't
Titan
like him,
Return Blur doesn't have a ridiculous chin as well.
you know.
It's Jimmy Hill.
I remember you
what is
saying
going on
though,
now.
Jay, you preferred the alt modes of the TR bots.
I do,
you have,
actually.
Why don't you have one in one and one in the other?
You know, I mean, that's what I might be doing, you know, because to be honest, I still like Titan Return Kup just because the
Yeah.
face. The other guy just like, I don't know, he looks as though he just wanked into the wind or something. Or, I don't know. He just,
Something very Lithuanian train,
yes.
isn't it?
You know, I just,
Can you swap the heads?
It's wrong there.
Oh, it's Titans. isn't it?
and then you got Jazz.
Ooh, that's
You know,
that's a hard one.
Reveal the
Yeah.
shield. He's still a great boy, isn't he?
Mm.
It is Reveal the Shield, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's tracks as well, isn't it? Came out with. But...
And I do like the fact that reveal the shield Jazz, his doors open up. you know,
Yeah.
he's sort of
Oh,
like,
you can't do the
he's got-
door
he's got
wings
like-
with the movie one.
No, but he has got doors, but it's almost like someone's clipped his wings. Do you remember that sort of Windblade model that first came out from, you know, third party, the one which
Flame
is just
Toys.
a model? Yeah, it was quite sexualized with the tiny, tiny wings she had. It's Jazz's wings is almost like that. You know, you can have them out, but I've just folded them in behind the backpack.
The wrong orientation, aren't they? They're not facing out. They're facing down, I think, aren't they?
Yeah, there's just
Yeah.
like,
See,
But
but
you know
Blur's
that-
arms, those two massive boxes underneath. That's a worry.
Mm.
What does
if
Cup have in his
storage,
hand? What does Cup have in his hand there? That last photograph, the little.
well,
It's the Energon goodie box.
That's the thing which I'm not actually.
It's the Energon goodie box from when
Is
they
it?
meet the Alicons.
Oh,
He says, "I'll offer them an Energon goodie." It's the little canister for that because
It's one of those
the
scan and
movie
go
stuff,
Morrison's things.
Oh, because it's like that, and I kept thinking to myself, "What the hell is it?" Because it's like,
Oh,
you
the
look at
blur
it,
thing. Oh, sorry, I thought we
Yeah.
were talking about the cup thing. The blur thing's his welder from when he's fixing the shuttle outside before the
Oh, right,
sweeps and
because
everyone
it's a
come and
bit
blow the
limp,
crap out of
isn't
it.
it? It's like,
Yeah.
it's like a wee penis coming out.
Sorry,
just hanging
sorry,
in.
my mistake. I thought we were talking about the cup.
That's what I thought we were talking about.
Yeah,
I thought the cup
I
thing
think
was
Alexis
a,
did
was
say
a
cup,
radio.
didn't
You did say Kup, yeah.
yeah.
I thought-
That's the Energon goodie box.
Saying a John Goodie box.
Yeah, so you can feed your Alicons. You can pose
Oh.
him with your Alicons with him and Hot Rod.
I thought it was a battle radio. Oh well.
Battle radio.
It's your imagination, Jamie.
Yeah.
It can be whatever you want it to be.
Yeah, I'm going to make it a battle radio. Fuck that, Energon feeding
Battle radio, not even a normal radio.
yeah,
Battle radio.
yeah, radio
Sticking
for
with
the
your
battle
G.I.
gun.
Joes.
But yes, so taking out, I managed to transform Jazz, which is my God, just really and very clippy. But once you get there, which took me a while,
Looks
I
good,
love
though.
the mode and it rolls really well. Can't roll in my hand, but yeah. If it doesn't roll, it's because you transformed it wrong. But yeah. Wonderful shape. It looks awesome. I'm going to keep him probably in his car mode and keep Power of the Prime Jazz as my Jazz. Because I prefer the Power of the, well, not the Power of the Prime Jazz, dear God, not that one.
Oh, he's awful. I'm so
Oh,
glad you
yes.
said that. I must have
Reveal
been
the
sick.
Shield Jazz. Reveal
Yeah,
the
that's
Shield
it.
Jazz, because he reminds me of that sort of Jazz from the original Transformers annual where you had his wings opened up, and
Yeah.
in the original comics.
Hmm.
So Blur looks very nice in his vehicle mode. Finishes off quite well. I'm not sure if I transformed it completely right. I think I have. Yeah, but not fun to do. Not fun.
Brilliant. So now time for our pickups, and we're going over to our guests straight away. So, Ed, would you like to take us away with your pickups of the week?
Okay. I'll use my opportunity to come on here so I could get a load of stuff. Excellent.
Oh, oh, you're married.
What I do every weekend.
Right. So, talking about Studio Series and the movie, as I said, my Studio Series stuff hasn't come through. So I went and got something I've always wanted, which is a boxed Rodimus Prime.
Nice.
Nice.
And he's not the best bot ever, but I still think that the alt mode is lovely. That for G1 Rodimus Prime, the alt mode is lovely. And this guy is in great nick. So I'm quite pleased with that. And I will get my Studio Series Hot Rod eventually. I think Morrison's are delivering, but who knows? Also, I got another beast. I got Rat Trap. And this was quite a difficult one to transform. He's core class.
Oh,
He's
no.
tiny. He's absolutely tiny. I've got, okay, here's G1 Grimlock. So, I mean, look, he's tiny. Yeah, I couldn't hard panther this. I sat there. Mind you, I am sleep deprived. I sat there and I couldn't work it out. So I had to get the instructions out. But yeah, Rat Trap's fun. He's fun. Also, I took a leaf out of Andy's book from last week and I got the Transformers the Movie Ladybird book.
Yay!
And
It's the
the
classic.
Collector 75 put the actual audio on his channel this week.
Oh,
So I
really?
can listen to
Did
it.
he?
And read the book.
Nice.
Oh, nice one.
Lovely. And you're not going to like this, but I got Savage Noble from Beast Machines. So this is Beast Changer. So he's a bit different, as in he doesn't have a bot mode. He transforms into two beasts. And Andy, I know you're watching Beast Machines because I saw you get it. And yeah, this guy is a bit of a, he's got a gimmick. His hand does I mean, that's apparently a gimmick.
I'm not quite sure what he's
It tells
doing.
everyone that he's not
Pretty,
sure
pretty
about.
underwhelming.
How are you
but he's in
feeling?
his box, so give me
Come
that.
Is that I'm not going to spoil it for Andy because I've seen it, but is that the beast that they befriend and they're not sure where it's come from?
Yeah, Night
And,
Springs
and, and,
is
and,
his
you
friend.
find, and you find out where. Yeah. Okay, that's fine. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's that.
and
I haven't seen.
yeah, this is actually a bit of a spoiler, so don't look too much, Andy.
I'll close my eyes.
It's really
So
good.
those are my pickups.
I really loved the
fantastic
Rodimus
pickups.
figure. That was just
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry?
he looked gorgeous. They
Yeah.
love
Do
the
you want to see him in
Rodimus.
bot mode? Because he's got the worst bot mode. You know he's got the worst
Oh,
bot mode.
there we
It's his
go.
face in bot mode that we're
Going
always,
hard
always
I know,
panther
he
now.
looks like he's had a stroke, doesn't he?
He's had a hard life as a
If you want to get a Rodimus Prime, which is awesome in alt mode like that, and the same size, but is awesome in bot mode, it's DX9 Carry, because the DX9 Carry is the same size alt mode as that, but then transforms into the IEW stylized Rodimus with a Target
I've
Master.
seen Carry, but I don't really like his chest. I think it's a bit kind of square and bulky.
Well, I don't know.
There we go. Look at his face.
Oh dear, yeah, that's the classic.
I'm the
face.
leader of
Union
the
trains.
Autobots now.
Oh, look at his eyes. He looks like he's got a kid that's been keeping him up all night.
Although
He's dead.
I didn't realise this, but the back of the box doesn't give away spoilers for the movie. He's called Protector, and it doesn't say anything about him being hot rod. It just says he's a vanguard for the Autobot ranks, and he has military prowess. And yeah, basically, it doesn't spoil
It
the movie.
suffers from depression, chronic depression, which will
Yeah,
happen
absolutely.
all season 3.
He's seen too much from Carly.
The only places you heard Vanguard in the 80s was with Transformers boxes on the back there, and if you played Warhammer 40k.
Warhammer.
Yeah, Vanguard and Warhammer. Cool, that's a good reference. Right, cool, awesome. Thanks, Ed. Brad, did you get anything this week, sir?
I've kind of pre-checked that it's all right to have non-Transformers things.
It is fine, yeah.
But I've pretty much got non-Transformers thing. Everything's either in the mail or pre-ordered and all that kind of stuff. But this week I got, well, the most recent Transformer I put here, not just to wave the wang, but I got a bit of thrust.
Hey.
So that arrived. Me and Zorti,
Welcome to the club.
Me and Zorti 3 weeks ago were like, "Oh, so we just buy one, stuff it." I'm fed up of worrying about pre-ordering it, and worrying is a silly thing about toys. So we just bought one, which was nice. But this week, I picked up Commander Cody. It's always nice to see a Black Series figure that's worth about £100 on the second-hand market come down to next to nothing when it gets re-released. So all the scalpers got scalpers bad day. It's always a great thing. But I don't know if you know Dave Mentz, who I run the TFYTC with.
Yeah.
He contacted me this week and said, "Yeah." He contacted me this week and said, "Look, we're having a clear out. I've got these for sale. Do you want them?" And he put up a bunch of Max toys. And I never buy vintage. But I've got a few Max toys from when I was a kid, and these are two that I really always wanted. I'm in the middle of cleaning them, which is why they got no stickers. But I got a Thunderhawk, I got a Jackhammer with old Cliff Daggers in there. See? Oh, there we go.
Oh, he was.
And, Matt Daggers in there. The only thing, yeah,
Cliff Diver.
No driving anymore.
I just bought a Maz toy this week.
What did you get, James?
I got I've forgotten its name, the motorbike one for the baddies.
Oh, Piranha.
Vampire?
Piranha, wasn't
Piranha.
Yeah.
Purple one?
It's the purple one with the... Well,
the bike with the boat.
Guys had
guy with the mustache,
it's
isn't
a
it?
submarine, yeah. Guy with all got mustaches.
Slyrax.
Yeah.
Even the women.
So yeah, it's been cleaning these two up this week. I've been using the old toothpaste method to get the shine back out of them. And
Does that work?
Yeah, it's wicked for it. Bit of what's it called, isopropyl alcohol and a bit of toothpaste, and it just rubs in. I don't know if you can see how nice and shiny that's come out.
It does.
Yeah. It's awesome for it. So I've done a bit of that this week. But I've got a Grimlock on the way, and hopefully Studio Series when they all come in. But apart from that, there are no Transformers this week.
That's fine. In fact, I ordered my first Black Series yesterday. I've got
What
Black
did you
Series
get?
Mandalorian.
What are you getting?
The Mandalorian.
Nice.
Yeah, I bought my brother, Boba Fett, he's a big Star Wars fan, for Christmas. And I was looking at it before I sent it to him because he lives in Portsmouth. I was like, oh, it looks so good.
Yeah.
And so, I pulled the trigger yesterday.
The Black Series for 20 quid have really caught up with them.
Oh.
So if anyone wants to collect Black Series, jump in on them because they're fantastic. And Resort Rider loves them as well.
Yeah.
I started to dabble in G.I. Joe.
Oh, the new ones, the 6-inch ones.
Yeah.
They're
And
fantastic.
the
So
retro
nice.
ones as well. I'm
this
just
is so
dabbling in them
nice.
both, just getting a couple.
I think you're in at the right time, Jay. Because I think obviously, if you look at the sort of what Hasbro have done, they've done the Black Series. And HasLab released the Sail Barge. They're doing a lot of Transformers at the moment. They've released the HasLab Unicron. They're doing X-Men Legends is quite popular. They've done the big, obviously the Sentinel, and obviously next might be something to do with G.I. Joe. You can imagine like a massive like.
Well, I just got
what was the aircraft carrier?
Oh, which came out in America.
Yeah.
What's it called?
getting
The
that?
USS Flag. The flag, isn't it?
That's it.
Flag.
It's
The
a
Because
giant
that
flag.
retro one is still going for sale, the
Yeah.
flag one, which is quite
Massive.
expensive.
That scale of figure just seems to be so good at the moment. They seem to be able to produce so much
Well,
at that price.
As I
point.
said, I got Beachhead today, which is, I think Scalpers prices is like 70 quid
Yeah.
and that, but someone in the forum gave me it for 20. You know, which is basically just cost again. So it was really good.
What's cool about the Black Series is you get the uncanny valley where you get someone's face and it's not quite like humans. It's not perfect, but there's so many Black Series characters which are like stormtroopers or Mandalorians and stuff. And because they haven't got the face, you lose that challenge of trying to recreate a face. And these look beautiful.
They're beautiful. Yeah.
Some of the hot soldiers' faces are ridiculous though. Like when they're creating
the misprinted eye over here. Like,
and we get a Black Series Carly.
That just makes it a bit more of a challenge, Wank. Everyone loves it more of a challenge.
It's just like going out and Croydon. Yeah.
It's like a lottery sometimes. It's a lottery with a face printed.
It is. Croydon's a definitely lottery. Croydon's definitely lottery.
A big hello to all our Croydon fans.
As bad as Lithuania.
What is it with Lithuania? Did you have a bad time?
I don't know. I'm just running on it now.
Someone tried to push you in front of a train.
Ride that fucker until the wheels go
I
off.
think the term, Brad, is running from it.
Right, cool. So I'll go next. So I only got one. It'll be in my review, so I'll only quickly flesh them up. It was Galvatron. He was my only pickup this week. Next week will be a Star Wars pickup. Black Series. I'm looking forward to that. Who would like to go next? Let's go to Andy.
Well, I've already shown off one of mine. So I've already shown off Studio Series Grimlock, who again highly recommend. Got from Collector's Den. It obviously is available at other places like In Demand and everywhere else that we often mention.
Not very good. It's an empty box.
Collector's Den did a really good job for me because they
there was nothing in it. It was an empty box.
Sent me an empty box, and then this came in the post. No,
don't you go a few?
They actually sent me it super fast. So I was really chuffed because I live out in the sticks. So our post, in fact, true story, we've not had any post in terms of letters or anything for 3 days, which just seems a bit weird not to have anything. But that did come. That was the only thing that came through them. So massive thank you to Collector's Den for that.
Learned today that
highly
where you
recommend.
live is so posh that your MP for Parliament is Rishi Sunak.
It is, but he is a so-and-so. So, you know.
What? Sorry, the line broke up there. Sorry.
He's a lovely man, and he's certainly not a twat. Anyway, so what we also, or I also got,
middle class that insult.
I'm sorry. Do you want me to go cunt? I mean, I can if you want, but
just unleash it.
I'm trying to keep it clean for the kids, Jamie. For the kids. That's what you forget. The other thing I got was I was really tempted by the G1 Walmart bots, the headmasters.
Oh, that's
even
nice.
though I've already got
Beautiful.
all of the Titans Return versions. The only one that really kind of made me think, actually, I think I want to get that one, is Chrome Dome, just because I do think the Legends head looks more like the actual toy, whereas the Titans Return one was obviously more of the IDW design. So I went in for one of these, again, from the Collector's Den, and it is quite pretty. I haven't got it out yet, but I think my plan will be to take this version out, stick that with my other headmasters, and then put the original version I've got into the box, just so it's got something in there, and then just keep that for display. But it's just so... You know, it's just so reminiscent of what we got back then, and it was only 20 quid. I mean, 20 quid really is nothing to get something that comes in that kind of vintage packaging and makes
it's
it
a selling
feel
point, isn't it? It's like,
definitely.
You know, a lot of people got Ecto 1 was because of the box.
Yeah,
and the new
exactly,
Ecto came out, and it's like this really pish plastic bubble packaging.
I think Hasbro would be really pissed off that internally they'll be thinking that we should have done everything Power of the Primes, Titans Return, all in retro packaging like that. It would have sold a lot higher, and you still would have got those really cool Transformers. Because Chrome Dome
they
is
can
awesome.
just re-release it though and make more money, so it's fine.
Someone said that idea. They went, "Shh, not yet." In 2 years' time,
it's really eye-catching, the G1 style packaging. I think when you're a kid going into a toy store and you saw that artwork, I mean, it made me, when I was a kid, just stop straight away and look at it. And I think it would still do the same for kids nowadays. But, you know, some people said, that if only it was actually the G1 toys, but, you know, it's not. So. And then the other thing I got was I got a mystery package, which had nothing on it apart from Space Dragon and then my name and address, and arrived via my Hermes, which is a miracle in itself, I suppose.
That's true.
And I had no idea what it was. No idea what it was. No idea who had sent it to me. So it was a bit of a puzzle. And then I'll show you what's inside first. So I opened it with bated breath, got rid of the packaging, and inside I found one of the greatest Transformers of all time. It's CJ Face. as Paul left.
Just stop recording.
So anyway, it's CJ face, and I was really puzzled. So I did actually accuse Paul, I'm sure, or I thought it at least. I bet Paul said this for a laugh, so I have to put it in crap transformer corner. But no, it was Liam.
Yes.
What it was, but here's the catch. What it was he's been watching and he's seen how annoyed you get at CJ face, and he said he thought it'd be funny to send me one just so I have to get it out on the show.
I don't think he has. I mean, Liam sends you crap transformers, doesn't he?
No, well, he does, but he did say to me, he said he did.
This one time he sent you a good transformer.
He said it's good, but he said he did look at it and thought that he thought the gorilla head looked crap. That's the only thing he said that he thought was like negative about it.
Yeah, that's the only thing.
Do you know what?
Wrong.
He's quite upset. He said to me he's going to have to try harder because he's actually sent me something I actually like. So I now have a boxed CJ face. I'll just put it somewhere prominent, Paul, so that you can see it every week. So that was it. Yeah, that was everything I got this week, and I might do a little mini review of Chrome Dome next week just to compare him to the Titans Return one and just get some photos of the packaging. But yeah, quite cool.
That's quite funny because obviously now he's built you up deliberately. And now next week he's just going to take the legs from under you with whatever he sends you in the post.
Oh, you watch it. If he's been watching, he'll have heard you say about frigging GoBots, and that'll be the end of that. I'm
going to give him. Can you, if for our viewers, can you put Liam's email on, or can we set up an email? Can we set up an email address for our viewers to send in ideas?
It's a good idea for me to put Liam's email address on here.
We'll create. Viewers, we'll create an email address. If you've got ideas for the show, anything at all, send it in.
Everyone send him your wheelies from Grimlock.
We'll have an army of them.
Yeah, squatting wheelies.
Yeah.
It won't be Grimgrams. Like it'll just be grim. It won't be like Grimgrams back in the day. It'll just be Grim.
Grimgrams.
I love Grimgrams.
Right, go on, Alexis. Ants, what did you get this week?
Soundwave.
What did I get? So I'll spotlight
yourself.
Here we go. All right. Anyway, someone put the kettle on. You need a while. So I got MP Clampdown. Do you remember this guy, Clampdown, at all? The alternative version of Sideswipe.
Paul's off to get some cheese.
Probably be about a month then.
It looks a bit like Corden.
It does look like a Corden.
So this is the Sideswipe mold. So they have released Corden as well. He's a bit more expensive. I'm trying to get him now as well. And then X-Transbots did a version of Skids in a police car as well. I just thought, it'd be really cool to have 3 police cars which aren't Prowl. I might get the old original version of Prowl together. Like I thought the police squad, I thought would just be quite cool. So I got him.
Police squad. That's exactly what I thought.
So I got him with coin.
Transform into hatchback or something like that. Wasn't he?
It's like
Skids.
Yeah, Skids transformed into a crappy little hatchback.
But you can get him. You can get him as a police car, and he comes with 2 little Japanese girls. They come but for the X-Transbots version, he's so rare. As so they did like an alternative version. I think the Diaclone version, the silver version with the red head and stuff. You can get him for about 60 quid. And this guy was about 80 quid. Yeah, and then that version is just quite rare, so I can't find him at the moment. But I've dipped in because I saw the Clampdown available online on one of the groups. So I got him from a seller that I already bought stuff from. I bought a second Sunstreaker. So got him cheap. Cheap. So I've got the idea of making him potentially into one of the Runabout twins. I thought it'd be quite good. So I've chatted with Nathan about that. He's not sure if it's doable or not because of the complexity behind him. Because he is one of the more complex bots, so it's quite difficult to take apart and put together. But I've got him. If not, I'll just flog him back on for what I paid for him. So I got. I'm not taking down. This guy here. This is Open Play. Yeah, Open Play Big Spring. So I've got Saltus, the MMC version, and I've got on pre-order X-Transbots Virtuous, and I've also now got on pre-order as well Apache. So I'm going to do a little comparison of all 4 spring. I'm trying to get Alan. There's a eBay.
Alan.
Alan. Unique Toys Alan. So I've got an eBay bid at the moment. I'm looking for that. So there's 5 springers available. I'm going to see if I can get them all together just to compare them, different modes. I've done the same thing. Spoiler. I've done the same thing with the RCs. I've got 4 different RCs. I call it my RC's Angels. That's my video's going to be called that. So that'll be out in the next couple of weeks. Once I finish editing it, it's only going to be 5 minutes long. It takes me ages because I just do
What was that?
Gravity.
What the fuck was that? I got ghosts in the house. Yes, I'm gonna do that as well. What else did I get this week? I got a bit of Darius action as well. So, a bit of Darius action as well. If anyone wants a comparison, this is what it looks like next to the Mech Fans toys.
Don't start reviewing him, you dick. I'm doing that.
Just saying.
Why,
Spoiler alert.
that's not a pickup, is it? Mech Fans Toys Galvatron's not a pickup. So why have you got him there?
I slipped.
He just happened to be slipped and fell off.
Then I have the Purple Potato.
No.
Purple Potato. Which is, so he's MP scale. So I haven't got the MP box, but he's MP scale. He comes with flash effects. You got laser. You got this. This is a battery in here, so you can light up his head. You can light up his jets as well at the back here. It comes with light effects, metal tube and stuff, which is pretty good. And I've got some photographs of Purple Potato, which I will show a bit later on today.
Awesome. Cool.
And then finally, I've got X-Transbots Lock, which I haven't unboxed yet because we're going to do it a little bit later on the show. Because I know a lot of people have been having issues with him out of the box, so I'm a little bit scared. I'll be honest. But I thought, why not on a live show, take out the boxes and see what the fuck happens, right? Ben did a very good review. If you want to watch Ben's collectibles, he's doing a lot of his third-party stuff now on Ben's KO collectibles. But if you look at Ben's collectibles, this is on there at the moment.
Falling out with Bobby Skullface?
No.
Oh.
Bobby, you'll get there. Don't worry.
He's going to be upset if Bobby's watching.
I've seen a lot of comments online about this guy going wrong.
Yeah.
Ben got him right. I think if you just watch things, if you're not sure about them, like again with Purple Potato, there were bits about him I wasn't sure about. But I'll explain in the review why I'm a little bit disappointed in certain areas about him. You'll find out. So I'm feeling lucky in the sense that if I follow the rules and not hard panther this one time, then it should be okay.
Don't put water on it after
Crossed.
midnight.
I did see Alexis. I did see Vector Sigma reviews. He did a review of that, and he was pretty scathing because his fell apart on him during transformation. So you check the instructions.
Are you
fingers
starting
crossed.
to think about getting third-party stuff?
No, I just was interested because I'd seen so much chatter. I take an interest, Jamie, in all facets of Transformers fandom except Kiss Players because that's just fucking weird, and anything to do with dolphins because that's Alexis' area. But other than that, I'm open to having a look at it.
I'm hoping they
in this house is Emily's bloody Optimus pony thing, so I don't know where that's ended up because she fucking probably lost the thing.
You love a bit of horseplay.
I digress.
So that's awesome, Alexis. And is that it for your pickup star?
Yes.
He's thinking about it.
Yes.
He's looking, but oh my god!
When did I get
that?
This week. When did I get that?
I have TMBS, so
hopefully you'll recover soon.
Too many
putting the creams on.
Too many bots syndrome. So
it's a good syndrome to have.
It's between you and Jamie. Talking of Jamie,
yeah.
Did you have pickups this week?
I just wanted to say, just because I wasn't sure if I mentioned it, I think I did, but I just wanted to say thank you to Greg Jones, Nick Atkin, and David Whidden in the TF UK forums for helping me come together about fixing Sunstreaker, Topspin, and why is Corden? Corden's his name.
Spin out and Corden.
Yeah, just for helping me come up with fixing that because I was a bit distraught. But that's it. I'm going to talk about other stuff next week. I'm absolutely knackered.
They're all cool guys as well. What's crazy, like David Whidden just turns up in any group I'm part of. Well, weirdest group in the world. You'd be like the Star Trek 1995 collector's card game. I'll comment and like Dave would be like, "Oh yeah, I've got that one." I'll be like, "What?" it's just anything I'm interested in.
Pop culture.
Well. He is
pop culture, man.
Paul, is it not your alternative ego that you just don't realise? Like when you fall asleep, you become him.
It's just Tyler Durden.
Jekyll and Hyde.
Fight Club.
Right, it's nice to hear people like being helpful because a lot of the time people focus on like the negative stuff, don't they? Like, and elitism and stuff. But it's nice when people jump in.
Community.
This is how
all about community.
Yeah. Have you noticed that being a Transformers collector is now? Oh look, I've just had my invoice for X. It's like, so.
I'm happy when I get my invoice.
There's a
People
lot of
post it
that.
online.
The one
Nobody
invoice
uses
you don't
it
mind,
when
isn't
it
it?
arrives. Now you're
Yeah.
posting a picture of an invoice. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's because
It's
I'm
all about
lazy,
the
Bob. I'm still
pre-orders
happy.
now, isn't it? And,
Is it JD and Mina?
No, I've just seen it.
You can say it. Get it out
my
there now,
feed has
Ed.
been
Get it out
rife
there.
with pictures of people's invoices. It's like, okay.
Yeah, I've been
Yeah.
too wide. I put my
Well,
bank
it is.
details there and suddenly I'm like, oh, money's gone.
I need your bank account number and zip code.
Oh,
my
I had a
God.
phone call today from Car Phone Warehouse, right? And I was like, hello, I'm from Car Phone Warehouse. I was like, no, you're fucking not. I said, I've never
You're
shopped
from
at
Lithuania.
Fuck's sake. And then a text message. Oh, Raw Mail, you've missed a delivery. Please pay $2.99 for it to be delivered. Not even clicking, just delete.
We've had people in Royal Mail going, "Oh, Alexis really doesn't want his products." Oh well, send them back.
All these packages.
Right, on to a review, and we're going to go straight to Alexis, and he's got a massive purple throbbing potato to talk about, and a dodgy cup. Spotlight yourself, Alexis.
Okie dokie. Right, I'll start off with the potato boy. As I said, this is the potato. He is lemon tree. Lemon tree did the prime, which has been well received. He's a good bot. He's decent. I just disappointing in a couple of ways. I just don't think they've quite thought out the transformation complete. I've watched 3 reviews so far. Transform into ship mode, and he doesn't quite tab in on top. And I spent today, before the show, a good 45 minutes trying to work out how to tab this guy in, and I've come to the epiphany that his feet are just too wide. And I looked at about 4 or 5 videos and looking at the bit, and one of them just sort of crossed over the other. And you can't quite do it. His feet, and again, but each of the shots they had, each of the photographs that they took, or the transformation at the end, he just wasn't tabbed in. I just don't think they can tab him in. That, and the fact that when you look at parts of like his gun here, you can see like almost like the sprue where it's come off. Like, and every accessory you have of him, you've got a sprue mark. It's just like, hey, come on, clean up a little bit before he's out. And his fingers pop off all the time. Apart from that, he's good. Each of the actual joints, the big joints, they're ratcheted, and it's metal joints and metal hinges and bolts. So that's really good as well. Color scheme really good. Takes really well photographs. There's an interesting gimmick with the you get this little magnet which is in the packaging. And what that does, you can see the magnet on top there. I don't know. You must have to have batteries in it, but you roll over like the jets or his head, and it turns it on and off. I've seen someone do it in one of their reviews as well. Really good. But I bought him for his ship mode, really. Road mode's really cool. Scales MP wise. If you want to see how he scales, Ben did a really good review of him. Ben's Collectibles. And he scales very similar to the MP Shockwave. I might do some photographs in a couple of weeks of that, but I'll share my screen.
How much was he? Sorry.
How much? Sorry, 90 quid.
Sterling.
90 quid.
Cool.
Is that the quintessence ship he comes with?
No. So I thought I'd take a couple of shots. So I like to tell a story with my photographs. So I thought he's out in space, cruising along, talking to quintessence ship as you do. So that's the quintessence ship that came with X-Transbots, Dr. Egg. That's the remote control.
I love the way you worded that, Alexis. Just he's there in space, cruising along, just chatting to the quintessence.
Yeah,
you do.
So this is just after Unicron's birthed him out the side, gone brrr, got rid of his gallbladder sort of thing, and then so I got Galvatron pumping along. I thought I'd try and get the little jet effect, so it looks like it's come out of his. It's quite hard to do there. So that's Darius, which Paul will talk about in a little bit as he comes close. Different light effect there, and then obviously he lands then on the ship berths. So close. Remember when he took out the shuttle as well, or you can say when he then went to go to Starscream's coronation. You can take your pick really. I've got a little shot of Darius here as well with coming out of Cyclonus. This is Fans Toys with the ship in the background. He launches out of him as well. Ship in the sky. lands on Starscream's coronation. Cyclonus transformed as well, and then he's not very happy.
Very good photos, sir.
Thank you, sir.
You paint a story with your picture.
Thank you. So I do like him. I think he's really good. He's going to probably stay on ship mode. The other annoying thing was the back of his these bits here, which fold out and then they tab in. On one of the sides, it was almost like it was coming apart. It wouldn't tab in. You tab in one side, wouldn't tab in the other side. It was almost like the pin was just ever so slightly too long. So the only way I'm going to get that to tab in potentially is to file down the tabs to make them fit, or one side goes in, one side doesn't. But it comes with a stand. It comes with the blast effects as well. Metal thing here. You can have hands or guns on both sides. I don't know why I sent you 2 guns, because the guns are identical. Guess you want to have double blasters, really. And then it comes with an additional extra. There's a couple of bare screws which I haven't found, but you can put. There's a couple of little inserts to put screws in as well. His feet are die cast. There's a lot of die cast throughout the body. Transformation's okay. His legs are quite fiddly. What I wasn't sure about, I couldn't go half panther because these parts up here, you have to sort of move out and then move round in a certain way to actually get him in the right mode. And I must say, he's transforming a long time to actually hurt me, because I tried unplugging his arm here just with my nail, because it looked like it just unplugged, and he went right up my nail and hurt. And then when I tried pushing it really bloody hurt. Yeah.
That was being a Transformer fan, the pain that we go through.
Exactly.
Documented.
And then when I was pushing this together, it pinched me. And I was like, you know what? I haven't had that much pain from a Transformer since I tried touching a flipper that time.
Have you been hurt at work and it wasn't your fault?
And then on to the unboxing. This guy here, so Skizzers. So
a few people unboxed this. A few people got it out of the box and it just broke from getting out. So I'm really excited.
Sealed. Sealed. It's sealed. You can see.
See if it falls apart.
You can see it's sealed.
I hope you get a fixed one, but if you get a really broken one,
this is like sports.
Why do you not use? That's quite brittle. That I would have used a much thinner blade.
What, you don't like my cuttle scissors?
I don't think that's the big issue right now, Jay. It's whether the damn thing's going to fall apart.
We'll see. We'll see what happens, right?
Oh, polystyrene.
Polystyrene?
Polystyrene.
Oh,
the environment.
Oh, just the sound in it.
I know, it's making tears just looking at that polystyrene.
So what I do love, right, it does come with this flexible, like, Sharks-Con tail.
Oh,
I think, right, would X-Transbots then do a Sharks-Con at a later date with this?
That'd be cool.
You know?
Yeah.
Well, they've already done the tail, so they need to do 98% more, and it's done.
So you can't quite see in there.
I can't see the box.
We can't see it.
You can't see, so I love it.
It's okay so far.
You can hear
Check
the
around near his
rattling.
butt flaps, because that's where there seems to be a lot of breakages.
So I'm just going to put it to one side.
There's a phrase I never thought I'd be saying.
Show you what. So in the box, you can see you've got his. Looks like he's got a cigar head, a different shaped chrome. You've got lots of different heads here, and then they actually give you. So this is you've got hot rods.
Carly, is it Carly? Dead Carly?
And then you've got
in her tomb that she stayed in.
So they give you a target.
He slowly suffocated her breath.
So this target. So I must say when they did. When X-Transbots did the Cyclonus and Scourge, the X-Trans Elagos and whoever the other one is, I felt that they were the best posable and best articulate and best target masters that have been done. Fan stories are okay, but X-Transbots know how to do a mini bot, so I'm looking forward to this. And this is a target master that actually does work with your MP28 hot rod, which isn't the best hot rod in everyone's eyes. I still have mine. He's holding the Matrix behind me up there. My finger up that way. Can't do my finger. Anyway, right, onto the bot. So, butt flap.
Intact.
It's okay.
Okay.
Told you about the butt flap.
Easy access.
See what I mean? Oh shit! This
Dating
feels.
criteria intact.
Do you know what? This does feel.
Gentle, Alexis.
He's an old man now. Don't be too fast with him.
His knee just comes. His knee just comes apart. Like.
That's the problem.
Is that meant to be tapped in?
Just be careful, because I saw somebody had done the knee and it was ooh.
It feels tight. I mean, if this breaks, it's going straight. If this breaks, it's going straight back to the shop.
This is actually making me feel quite nervous.
It feels
It's not
tight.
even my bot.
Do you
No,
think
it's
Transformer fans should get like an insurance site on us, for mental stress and possible injuries?
I just think it's not tabbed in properly. Look, you can see like straight away the chest has come up right. I think you need to actually spend some time tabbing this in before you fuck about with it. So the whole thing is just coming apart, right? I think this has just not been tabbed in properly. So I need to actually spend some time. I'm going to leave it for a few days to settle outside in the air. That always works. It works with my warpath. So Fanstos warpath was notorious about breaking, and you just left it for a little bit. And
Works with trees. I don't think it works with Transformers.
But yeah, I mean, it's not great out the box, right? It's very just. I mean, it's like it's not. It's coming apart straight away. But I'm not gonna. Okay, what I'll do.
I think my cup for £16.99 is far better.
I was just gonna say this is why I don't buy expensive third party.
So this was 90 quid. I'm gonna get this out. I'm gonna play with it in the week, see how it goes, put together. Very quick comparison to the Fans Toys one, which was an absolute nightmare to transform.
Yeah, but he looks so much better.
In my opinion, though, this is gonna. So what I want, I've got 2 of each movie bot now, almost without even realizing it. So I've got 2 cups, no girl, 2 hot rods.
Knew that was coming.
I've got 2 Galvatrons.
4 RCs.
I've got 4 RCs. So I'm gonna have.
You got so many Transformers.
What?
Are you
I told you
with your mortgage payments?
I get a feeling like Alexis earns millions and we just don't realize it.
I've got TMBS.
Did you take the
TMBS. Too many box
payment
syndrome.
holiday?
I wind Jamie up about how she spends on things, and Alexis buys the Masterpiece versions, and he buys loads.
I just dabble in stuff now and again.
Dabbling for 500 quid worth of box. Oh, G.I. Joes.
Cool. Right. Anything else?
Oh, don't invite
No. That's it. I'm just going to remove my spotlight. So there we go. So
keeping your own spotlight, Alexis.
There we go.
Hello. So my pickup for this week was him, Darius, and my review is about him, Darius. I don't know why they called him Darius. It's a bit of an odd. The only Darius I know is the one who went into X Factor. I'm going to try and share screen.
A very talented Scottish man.
It's because of the goatee, isn't it?
Pop Idol. Pop Idol. But yes.
Pop Idol.
Is it though?
Yeah, but you. I mean, it's your interview. You would know.
I'm not interviewing him. So
where's the company base that made him?
Newage are based in China.
Lithuania.
So you're telling me that the Chinese company decided what we're going to call this bot? Do you remember that guy who was on that?
Why not?
Programming.
Stavros Flatley? No, not him.
No, not him. Not him. He was good. The other one. The Scottish
Really good satellite television.
Look at the Scottish nationalist part of Jamie coming out defending him.
I think you're fine.
Actually, I've got an ancestor. It's a statue of him in China just now.
Darius.
I thought you were going to say you were related to Darius somehow.
Liddell is a statue of him in China, in one of the Chinese provinces, because he was in a Japanese concentration camp, and he was a Scottish missionary. So yeah.
Wow, this has all suddenly gone very deep.
I don't know where Transformers show will take
Jamie's gone deep on us.
Let's talk about the Holocaust.
Darius McAllister.
I don't know where we are now. Right, so this is
Darius.
Darius, which I ordered about 2 months ago. He cost £40, I want to say. It was about £40. And he came from TF Express, and he arrived on Tuesday. So he's Legend Scale. Galvatron, obviously. We do already have a Legend Scale Galvatron. It's the Mech Fans Toys, and the DX9, the knockoff, is the Mech Fans Toys one. And he's not great. He's an awful one. So we've been dying for a decent Darius Galvatron. We've got him. He's awesome. He's absolutely amazing. In terms of action figure, so with Newage, when you get Iron Factory, they're all about the action figure. They're all about loads of accessories, brilliant robot mode, and the all mode. Newage are all about everything. So they're all about the great all mode and the great robot mode, which leads to really complicated transformations. But you get a great transformer, you get all the cool bits which go with them, and they're set to release 6 different versions of this mold, including like the anime one. There's the Marvel UK one's going to be released, which will have like the grey face and stuff. If I can share some pictures so you can see what he scales with. So this is him next to Magic Square Megatron. And the weird thing is, for Legends collectors, he's actually quite big for New Age. So New Age normally do the really small size Transformers, like almost Legends minus. But for Galvatron, they've gone a little bit bigger. They've upscaled him, and he's kind of about Magic Square size, which is about the medium size for Legends figures. He's an absolute bum to try and stand up. So, you know, when you try and put a Transformer, you try and stand them up in your collection, and they're always going a bit forward, so you move their legs out a bit, and then they go a bit backwards, and you move their legs back. He is one of those, definitely.
He's like a drunk, basically.
He is. He's like a drunk, yeah.
He's got the toe tilt, hasn't he, though? It's a toe tilt, isn't it? Which does it.
He's got toe tilt, yeah. No, that does help a little bit, but he's heavy. He's heavy. So he probably weighs as much as quite a large chug-sized Transformer. He's a heavy Transformer. He's got bits of metal in him. He's very solid. That's him with Megs. This is him with 2000s boy band Fallout Boy. In the background. He's a bit moody. You can tell by his face. He's in a mood about something.
Wrong Darius. Wrong Darius. That was Darius.
Fallout Boy and Legends Plus then.
Yeah,
they were.
Yeah.
He's a little bit too big.
I can see the Transformers community get into an argument over this now.
Is it
I really like Fallout Boy when they did that scene in Teen Titans. They were in Teen Titans once.
It's nice to see some of them are color coordinated, though. They obviously like good old Galvatron.
This is him on the streets with his bros, just having a bit of a bro moment. He's got Cyclonus, that's Magic Square Cyclonus. He probably, when they're next to each other, they're the same size. Again, that leads to the fact that New Age, always small, actually they're doing things which are about the same size as Magic Square now. There's Mac Fans, Toys, Overlord in the background.
I love the fact that you bought a load of computer bits just so you could do some photos that looked like Cybertron. And
but it's awesome.
It's a cool photograph, really cool. Oh, is that on the right hand side?
I was sitting in my front room. I spray painted that, yeah. I got these spray paints which are smaller.
Legends size spray paints.
I spent hours spray painting Hot Rod. I think it's good. It took me 2 days to do that. No, it definitely.
You're like our version of Banksy.
I was just sitting in my front room. I thought, oh fuck. Well, I'm going to take pictures of these of him from, and I had 3 computers all open because I was dealing with computers and changing stuff.
Very cool.
I stuck them inside that. I stuck my son's. He really wanted it. He was like, "Oh, Daddy, can I have my my tablet?" I was like, "No, I've put it inside my laptop, and it's now the lighting rig for my Transformers." But Daddy, I want to. No. This is what goes in. And this is what it's like.
This is life for you now, son.
Yeah. You are second. No, I'm joking, Luke. This video back in years' time. You're always first. Right. That was it. So that's my review of Darius. Absolutely amazing Transformer. Focus. And yeah, 8 out of 10. I'd give him. Right. That's it for that bit. Is now on to Rohan's corner. So Rohan, take it away, sir.
Rohan.
I'd roll like a stone. I'll take you with me and call you my own.
Thanks for the wonderful introduction, guys. Hello and welcome to Rohan's Corner. And this week we're going to be discussing all about pre-orders. Pre-orders. More ruddy pre-orders. Pre-orders, quick! Pre-orders. I'm so over pre-orders. No, we're not having a moan, but it's all about how do they work. A few weeks ago I posted up on TFUK about how many people were waiting on pre-order bots, I asked. I was surprised to get around 125 odd replies. I wasn't expecting that many. So it seems like a lot of other people were in the same boat. I had a message from Daniel Mark Stevenson, who reached out to me to ask, what's up with pre-orders? How do they work? So let's talk about it. A couple of years ago, only a couple of the smaller independent retailers, people like In Demand and Kapow, were the ones who offered pre-orders. They were specialist Transformers retailers, and even going back a few years prior to that, even those guys, In Demand and Kapow, weren't offering pre-orders. Before that, it was all buy as you please. What was on the shelf was available, or what was in stock was available for you to buy. And online retailers and actual stores didn't have much differential other than the fact that the online retailers were able to showcase their entire availability. This was around the same sort of time that I started to move away from Kapow and In Demand, as I didn't really want to be tied down into pre-ordering figures before I'd seen reviews of them, or before I'd had a chance to see more photos of them to see whether or not I'd like them to fit into my collection. And it also meant obviously having to divvy up the cost of the product or the deposit to be able to put your name down and ensure you were going to get it. Fast forward to around 2019 and the beginning of the War for Cybertron trilogy, and I think that's when the pre-ordering bonanza began, if you like. And then suddenly all the retailers were at it, big and small alike, from Amazon to the Knott's Robot Company, especially in the last year or so. However, not all retailers are equal. Some get exclusives, as we've seen in the last 12 months, 24 months, with certain figures, and others don't actually carry the entire lines. So people like Smiths don't have the core range, for example, or the smaller bots, and some of the online retailers only cover the mainline figures. Before we discuss how retailers work with their pre-orders, let's take a step back and acknowledge the fact that there are multiple ways our favorite retailers buy stock. Not only online retailers, but mass chains too. People like B&M stores, for example, who buy their stock from liquidation of other toy stores around Europe who are going out of business, and they buy up their stock to sell in their stores. Or Amazon, who can ship worldwide and actually purchase product in one country, ship it to another country where they may not have been able to get access to that product. A perfect example of this would be the Pit of Judgment, which we got from Amazon, when actually Hasbro UK told us categorically there would be no UK stock for that product. So when it comes to taking pre-orders, the retailers know exactly how many units they're going to get, right? And then they put those up on their website and they allocate out the stock, and when people go and buy it, then they can ensure that they're covered by selling that stock. Well, you'd think so, but no, it doesn't seem to be the case, especially for some of the larger retailers. Amazon and Zavvi constantly seem to be oversubscribing their sales, so they'll put up pre-orders availability for thousands of stock units, and they'll sell them, and then they'll come back to the customer at the end when the actual item arrives into their warehouses and say, sorry, we haven't got any stock for you, leaving a lot of pissed off collectors like you and me. On the other hand, some of the smaller retailers, the more specialist sellers, people like In Demand, Kapow, and also people like, Games and Cards, or the Knott's Robots Company, or Collector's Den, or Chandru's, there's so many you can mention, they actually only put up a smaller scale number, and they're very careful about the number of pre-orders that they allow to people to purchase. They also put in regulations to stop people from scalping by limiting the number of products that can be bought at one time from one household. Let's not also forget that Hasbro UK don't have a good handle on the number of units they're going to get, especially for the larger retailers, because they don't really have a clue on how many units they're going to get from the US. I think that some of the smaller retailers, especially the likes of In Demand, are looking to buy import stock wherever they can to plug the gaps, especially since Hasbro UK have let Kapow and In Demand down so many times over the years. And more recently, we've seen that many times they've been offered product which they think they're going to get to be able to sell to the collector fan base, and then all of a sudden it goes dry. Then there's the time that the pre-orders go up for people to order. Some retailers, like Kapow, tend to put their pre-orders up very, very early, months and months in advance of the actual launch date. We saw that with Kingdom recently. And then some other retailers don't put their pre-orders up till much, much later. Smith's is a great example of this, having only just started to get into the pre-order game, if you like, with their Studio Series 86 line. However, most of their Transformers, the mainline stuff, has not got pre-orders available, and let's not go into the exclusives. But there are still some products that are only going up onto the websites and into the stores when they actually come into stock, not being available for pre-order. And that seems to be the case. In Demand do this a lot with import stock, and we've noticed this with Netflix Prime and Soundwave, Bumblebee, Earthrise, Bluestreak, Ratchet and Prowl. They seem to be very good at this. It'll come up at the very last minute, and sometimes that's a good thing because it means that you're not having to pre-order months in advance or put your money down for something you don't know when you're going to get. But at the same time, it can be a negative thing because you have to be there on the spot, ready to be able to purchase within 30 minutes, or you're probably going to miss out because these products move fast. It's also worth noting that a lot of the smaller retailers aren't getting their stock from Hasbro UK anymore. In fact, only recently we saw that Xavi announced through that dork on YouTube that they've got an agreement with Hasbro UK and are starting to sell a lot more Hasbro UK stock. And we know that In Demand and Kapow have shaky relationships with Hasbro, as I mentioned before. I've noticed that some of the other smaller retailers are actually purchasing their stock from overseas. So some is coming in from Europe or from Asia, and that can mean that there are delays in shipping time, maybe cost changes, maybe there are import duties to be paid, and so on and so forth, and it all affects pre-orders. And yet they're still offering them as pre-orders without knowing when they're actually going to come through. So in conclusion, pre-orders, who needs them? Well, it appears that we all do, unfortunately, unless you want to run the risk of not getting your bots. But is that only while we're here stuck in this very topsy-turvy world with this big pandemic going on? Or is this going to be the new norm when we return to whatever that is? Will we ever see the ability to actually pick up stock when it's available? And will we ever be able to get discounts on our bots again? Who knows? For this week, this is Rohan signing off from Rohan's Corner. Catch you next week. Back to the studio.
Hey boys, we've been rumbled. Well, let's bounce.
Thanks, Rohan. That was awesome. Right, on to our discussion this week, and I'm so excited to have. So we've got Bumblejumper82 and ExillionXLR with us in the house. Hello, Brad. Thank you for coming tonight. I think we've all got questions, or I just thought we'd have a little chat about YouTubes and Transformers and everything else, and a bit of Wales as well, because you're both based in Wales, I believe.
We're both in Cardiff, yeah. We're about 50 minutes away from each other.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's just me, Brad,
we can
Tom Jones.
Yeah,
That's it,
there's
really.
just three of us. Like, we can practically smell each other.
Right, first thing I have to ask is how you got your names. So, Brad, I've seen your videos for years.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah, always. And when you said, Ed was like, oh, Brad might come on. I was like, what? Shut up, really?
No way, man.
And Ed, I've seen your videos for the last couple of years as well. But how did you get your names? Where did your names come from?
Exillion is actually, I'll grab it down. Oops, just pulling my headphones.
Interesting underwear.
Is he Galaxy Force?
He's Exillion is the Galaxy Force version of Hotshot. So Exillion from Galaxy Force, and XLR comes from a cartoon that was on Cartoon Network a couple of years ago called Megas XLR, which was, I'm glad someone else knows it. I'm glad Alexis.
I know
it was such a good cartoon. But the XLR comes from that, which is
stands for
extra large robot. But it was just a brilliant cartoon that has never been released properly on DVD, or has never been kind of like Blu-ray or anything. If you want to watch a good cartoon, Megas XLR is top.
It's like Johnny Bravo meets Gundam.
Yes.
Alexis watches all these things, including My Little Pony in the movie. I mean, he's drunk.
Can't fault him.
He will take you through the entire story of My Little Pony in the movie. And Care Bears as well.
Watch it the other day. Care Bears 2. Care Bears 2 was on the Sky the other day. Really good. Dark Heart, Noble Heart, Brave Heart.
Is that the one with the boy that turns into like a fox? Is that right?
Yes, that's
I'm
the
not
one.
even
Dark
sure.
Heart. Yeah, that's really good. That was it.
I'm not even shaking my head, Alexis, because you watched it. I'm shaking my head because I watched it with the kids too, and I managed to last about 10 minutes before I thought, this is absolute
Oh yeah, me too. Yeah, me too. Yeah. That's what they were like with me. Daddy, can we turn it off? No.
Yeah, the kids want to say, no, we're watching this.
So Ed, I don't want to give away your Bumblejumper82.
Well, mine's far less exciting than Brad's because Bumblejumper is just a character that I love. Although, full disclosure, I don't have a Bumblejumper. I've been trying to get one for ages, and you just can't get one for less than £200. Although, I've got a third-party Bumblejumper.
Very nice. I
don't really like him very much. I'm sorry. Sorry, Alexis. So you can have this if you want it.
No. I know it's rubbish. I know.
Yeah. So although I did get there's like a green Waspinator in the same line, which is actually really good. So I got something out of it. And 82 because I was born in 82. So I joined Transformers a little bit late. So I wasn't there for the die.
I've got a funny feeling you might use that as a password for something as well.
Ooh,
are you hoping to get into his bank accounts, JB?
Change them all now. So
it's interesting how many of us
if
do
we
that.
Saw sorry, Andy.
I was just going to say it's interesting because you're Bumblejumper82 and like on social media, I'm Crankcase79 because I had the Crankcase as a kid, and even though it was a crappy little toy, I still loved it. And 79 because that's the year I was born. So it's amazing how many of us have that whole thing of stick our years.
It's a bit of an old-fashioned YouTube type thing, isn't it? But it's good.
Right, about 248. I don't know what that fucking means.
I don't know where you got yours from. I thought you were just Storm.
I was going to ask.
No century, but it was good. No.
If someone's got a Bumblejumper for sale, what would you pay for a Bumblejumper? Realistic pricing? What would you want?
See, I was talking to Toys R Us. I don't know if you've seen his stuff. He owns all the vintage Transformers. He has got an amazing collection. And I said to him, if you see a Bumblejumper for £100 or less, let me know. But I think that's a pipe dream.
What would you pay in non-standard currency?
Non-standard currency.
I reckon
I'll give you 7 sheep for a Bumblejumper.
What are you getting at, Brad?
So Ed, I've seen multiple Bumblejumpers on the groups. I've seen multiple Bumblejumpers on the group for like 80 to 90 or £100.
You have to send me a link, my friend.
I will. Next time I get one, I will tap you up and I will send you a link to.
What's the script you keep talking about? You're saying the abbreviation.
Oh, the TFYT, the Transformers YouTube community. It's a YouTube group that Dave and Stu started a couple of years back, maybe like 7-8 years back. They made the mistake of making me a moderator on it. And it's been going for years.
We're on that.
You're on that. Yeah, you post on it over time. And you know what? It just died the whole community kind of died for a few years. And it's really nice to see it come back because, like, you jump in and there's loads of posts coming up. I mean, you guys have got, the Transformers the show going. The community, like, is like it used to be back in the old. I don't say the old days. Like, I started on YouTube in 2009, and it was jumping, and it's really getting back to that now. It's really getting back to that with loads of people like posting.
What caused the lull period then?
Don't know. No idea. It just kind of.
You think COVID boosted the recent period?
Possibly, yeah.
Like the last year and a half, we've all been at home. Like we started this,
it could have.
We went COVID conditions.
Every week
after
on
the
the
first
show,
6 months,
it's like
pure Pornhub.
Every week on the show, it's like we're looking for the silver lining.
I mean, 2009. There used to be things like we had Moonbase 2, which was a message board back then, and there was meetups. We obviously had Ilto Assembly, but like in recent years, like I think the birth of like Facebook groups and that linked with YouTube has really brought it about to I don't say a new golden age because that's a bit too fromage, but it's better than it ever has been. There's more people around and there's more positivity around. The toys are better than they ever have been, and everyone's kind of realizing that as well.
Yeah, because I remember watching your review of Sunstreaker where you were very enthusiastic about it, and I was crying because I still couldn't get the roof down at that point. So I was going, "What the fuck do you know, you bastard?" It's not.
It only works in Wales, Jane.
Well, you know that Jamie's a big fan of the Welsh.
Yeah. Well, maybe
absolutely.
After tomorrow, maybe.
I pity them.
So, Calcutta Cup.
I'll ask you, Ed. What got you into YouTube? What started the videos off?
Well, funnily enough, I decided to start a YouTube channel so that when I went to conventions, AA back then, TFN now, people would know who I was. That's the whole reason I did it. And it's just a bit of fun. And it's, as Brad was saying, it's great. There's a community spirit now. we're reaching out. And, you know, I wasn't paid to say this, but you guys, I really enjoy the stuff that you do, and you guys do it every week. And it's something I really look forward to. So props to you guys.
Actually, I just love
mate.
your display there. I'm just looking at that. I mean, you had that Rodimus there. I was thinking, he needs to do a review of this. I don't want to just see it for 2 seconds, then put it down. I was like,
I don't know whether anyone. The trouble with doing a review of a G1 bot is everyone's seen it to death.
I have.
The only thing that you can, the only thing you can really do is just bring your personality, and that's the only thing I try and do. It's, you know, it's a bit of fun, and it's not particularly professional. You know, I'm not going to be doing a detailed transformation. It's just my thoughts on a bot, what it means to me, that kind of thing, and enjoying, you know, contributing to other people and meeting, you know, and sharing a hobby that we all love. And let's be honest, it gives us an awful lot. And we have touched on it. Lockdown has been hard for a lot of people, but I think having this community, having this hobby, has been something that's been a great distraction.
100%.
Well said, mate. Well said. I sincerely agree with that.
Yeah, how is it? I mean, well, we've all made loads of friends, haven't we, over the last year and a half, and like a lot of them I haven't even met in real life, and it's just the way of the world at the moment.
You guys were saying the other day. Sorry, Paul.
No.
You guys were saying the other day you've been at TFN before, and I was like, oh, what? I haven't even met you guys. Like, I've been to all the TFNs I've met. Like, that's where I met Ed. I think I met Ed at Auto Assembly 2015. That's where we started off. But like, you guys were talking about being at Auto Assembly, and I've never seen you there. I was like, oh shit. Like, next
you
one,
ever saw a table of people getting drunk and not going to any of the panels they were planning to? That was probably us, because that's our MO. That's what we do. It's like
we used to go. Oh, I can't wait to see the visionary.
Let's go see the cosplay show.
It's going to be really strange when we all actually meet up at TFN.
We'll just be poking each other. Just in over there. You're what?
You're only 5
2 meters.
Can you imagine the table we're going to need? Just stealing all the chairs. Everybody sit around. There we go.
I'm actually going to bring a camping chair. I'm going to be
like it, James.
So you can break it out every now and again.
Tactical scene.
Don't move it. Be really adamant. Just sit in the corner. Like,
do you know,
come to me.
When I was around Japan, it was one of the best things I did, was just bring out this wee camping chair.
And fold it.
Yeah.
Nice.
I imagine you put it down like that GIF you see of the guy who brings out the camping chair and just unfolds it like that and sits down. There's you everywhere. Yeah. Hello, I'm here.
Yeah, that's if you watch Paul behind the scenes, that's how he transforms.
Actually, in the last rugby game there, I gave it to one of the disabled carers.
Did you know?
Yeah, because there's like wheelchairs, so there's wheelchair spaces around. So and the
chair,
and you had the carers there, but someone had stolen the seats.
Yeah,
the carers. So I actually gave them a camping chair, so they were really thankful for that. So it did come in useful handy.
Somebody was stealing chairs from disabled people. What is wrong with the world?
From the carers, it was worse than that.
Japan was
all the time in school.
Lots of people were just drinking with it. Sort of like the people in the wheelchairs would actually be sort of parked, but. So people in the wheelchairs were too polite to say it to the people drinking, so they would just go round again in a circle, round like the whole of the stadium again and again, until eventually one of the staff would go up to the tourists and say, "Excuse me, this is meant to be for disabled," and then it would go, "Oh my God!" And you're thinking, well, it's a bit freaking obvious. There's a big sign there which says wheelchair, and they've been going around there not for fun for the last hour.
On the opposite end of the scale, is that I used to watch the program on Channel 4 called Balls of Steel. There was the annoying devil.
That's the opposite of
the annoying devil, right? And the annoying devil was the guy. There's annoying spectrum. Used to go around pissing people off. And one time, absolute comedy gold, right? He went around to a car park and painted on disabled signs on every car park space, the whole of the car park, and then watched people just come into the car park and go, no.
I remember you showing us that. It was quite funny.
I was going to ask a question if you don't mind. It was just obviously you've got into YouTube and you've been doing these videos for quite a while, you guys. When you got into it, were you ever thinking it was going to kind of go on for as long as it did, or was it literally just, oh, I'll get my face out there, I'll get known in the community?
I used to watch Vangelis quite a lot, just to get the idea of what the toys were like. One day I kind of stumbled across Thew, and full credit to Thew, I started watching Thew and thought, like, oh, this guy doesn't take anything seriously at all. I might give this a try for a laugh. And I did, and that was 11 years ago. and I've come in and out of it as, you know, every time I come back to it, it's like, well, it's kind of like starting again. People pick up, and then I kind of drop off because I'm busy or whatever, and then I pick it back up again. And this is kind of now is kind of the most like fluid is a kind of word I've been for a long time. I've been putting quite a lot out, and it's quite nice to build up that base audience again. But no, I had no idea I'd be doing it for as long as I did. There's so many times where I've thought like, I'm pretty much done with it now. I've lost that original kind of audience. But every time I put a video out, like a lot of people come back from when I first started, which is really nice. And I love that. And then more people come on back on board, and you get new viewers and stuff.
It
like
looks
that.
as good as anything I've seen on YouTube.
Thanks, man.
Oh,
I just do stupid shit.
Paul was
and that's why it's good.
You're going to get this guy on a thing, and I was thinking,
we're making a career of it.
I was thinking, yeah, but he's really good. And I was like, I don't think I want him on the show.
Thoroughly enjoyed your
not that anyone else who's been on the show is not good.
I just like making stupid videos, and to be honest, like Katie, my partner, always says, like, you sit there in bed laughing at your own videos, like it's wow. She fully supports everything
honestly,
I do.
That's not
you can reach just one person.
Not strange,
yeah, I just do it to amuse myself. So like, if anyone else likes it, that's brilliant.
I
sit
make
with my wife.
videos that you like.
I sit with my wife and we watch back the show, and I sit there laughing at things more than she does, because I'll sit there and laugh at jokes that I heard because I was here. But
and it feels like TF Nation.
No, but
when you do that, you're like, oh yeah, good Transformer joke.
It's like being a TF Nation, but actually being able to watch it back so you can actually remember what was said instead of saying, I don't know what was said, but it was funny. I was laughing.
No. But you laugh, Andy, because you know
can't remember, Alexis.
You laugh because you know the bits we cut out.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I was going to ask, Brad.
What you mean,
I loved your Gundam video for the Toys, Figures, and Robots weekend.
Thanks.
How long? Obviously, it was quite a short video, but it was just energetic. How long did that take to make? Because obviously there was a lot of clips in there. How long would you say something like that to put together?
I had
someone else wanted to help.
I'm a teacher and I work and everything, so I filmed it all. It took me about 2 hours to script it. I filmed it all on a Monday night in about an hour. And then it took me the rest of the weeknights to edit it. I'd say it's about 7 hours, something like that. So a while, but not all my videos are like that. I mean, if Rudy puts something on, I'll put a lot of effort in and I'll get on it. But
your poetry was amazing. I was blown away. It was right at the start as well, wasn't it? Like,
if it's all right, this video.
Yeah, the quality of
it. That's just me using my English teacher.
So, why is there so many teachers?
Do the kids know about it?
There are a lot of teachers. Yeah.
I think half of us are teachers.
Brad?
Because you're all creative minds that are locked away that can't, and you want to express, and you do express yourself in the perfect way.
So, do the kids know what you do?
No,
do the kids know what you do?
Because there's so much swearing in it. Basically, as soon as like my boss found out about it, I was thinking, oh shit, he's found this from my YouTube channel. He was like, can you do more of this stuff? So if you go onto my school YouTube channel, there's like, I had a Lego club running last lockdown, which was ridiculous. It was stupid. I hosted a virtual disco the other day, which was equally as stupid and ridiculous. The kids lap it up. And my boss is really like, you're doing really well with this guy. Because obviously now we've got video lessons and all that kind of stuff going on. I don't say it came naturally, but it was something I was already used to being on camera. So it's gone down really well with the kids that I piss around on camera basically. And the kids love it and I enjoy doing it. And we have to do video lessons every day. And I just find it's more of a natural thing for me than other teachers, I suppose. And it's really helped in that way.
I just wanted to say, the thing is, like, especially with like Edward, okay, or Eddie?
Ed's fine.
Ed,
I know it says Edward down there, but I don't go by Edward unless I'm in trouble.
I know.
Exactly.
I tend to change my name to like Storm or something which is
Jamie used to go by his World of Warcraft account, which was Storm. So it used to come up with Jamie, but then Storm on the bottom. So we used to call him Storm.
I just wanted to say,
Deathbringer.
Come across really, really confident. The way you pronounce it as well. You're straight to the camera. And it just seems, I don't know, it just seems like it's obviously it's experience. You've been doing this for a long length of time, but then you're also teachers. So you're doing this to an audience every day. So I just wonder if it's just something it's easy for you when you first started because of the way you did teaching.
No, when I first started personally, I worked in Tesco. So I guess it kind of fed into teaching. I don't know about if it's the same for Ed. I know Ed's not a teacher. Ed works in accounting.
Oh, he's like
I was going to say I didn't realise it was.
It's a good thing Brad didn't say he worked in Morrison's.
Tesco.
No, yeah.
Home deliveries.
It's funny because Alexis was saying about people who are creative, and I do a very non-creative job. I'm an accountant. So,
you're very happy for an accountant. You know, you've got smiling.
yeah,
And...
people say you're an accountant, really? But yeah, it's fine. I like to separate.
And you're good looking as well for an accountant.
My brother's an accountant. My brother's an accountant.
I'm just saying
the opposite to me.
I'm sure he's got a partner.
And a baby.
Yeah, but you know, back off, man.
With your partner or with someone else.
You're breaking up families, Jamie. Come on.
But your job doesn't define you. And let's be honest, I think people who I work with know I like Transformers. I do take down some of the display when I'm in a meeting with board members and bigwigs, but when I'm with the team, they know I like Transformers, and it's fine. And I think that it's great to be accepted for who you are rather than kind of pretend. Because I don't know about you guys, when I was in my 20s, I kind of tried to downplay the fact that I like Transformers and geeky stuff. Because, oh my gosh, what would people think? And then I think you reach a point and you think, so what?
Okay. Yeah, definitely.
My partner's works. She's a doctor. She's in medicine and that, so she's doing a lot of reviews and discussions and that online with the international community, and she's in here with all these Transformers and they're going,
must be brilliant.
Is that yours? And they're going, she's going, no. I said, oh, what is that? And they're like asking her questions about it and stuff.
Also, having seen the difference between financial accounts and management accounts, I know how creative accountants are. You're one of the most creative people in the world. To get that difference,
I am not a creative
amazing.
accountant.
I disagree.
Mine was the same. So I had when we first started doing this about obviously a year and a bit ago, in my broom cupboard as it was, I never used to have anything behind me, and because I didn't have, and then I bought a couple of detours and did it, and I did a team meeting in the evening, and I ripped someone for having a dodgy cap on, for looking like a UPS driver, and they said, let's put a camera on. I had sleeveless on at the time, and all the TS behind me, and I was just like, oh shit. And then from there on my team, I was like, what, fuck it, I'm embracing it, right? I'm embracing it, because everyone now talks about it. And you can tell sometimes when someone says, "Oh, that's nice. Wish I kept my Transformers." And you get one up and go, "Oh, you talk about it," and they go, "Yeah, so where's?" And you go, put it down and go, "Okay, back to me." You know when to stop. But sometimes genuinely there is a genuine interest. I had one guy actually messaging me on the chat going, "Oh, are you on groups and that?" I'm going. So I got him into
Was he using my keyboard?
No, that was just me on the desk.
Sounded like it.
That was just an example.
It's just been some music and jazz.
One of those keyboards from back in the 1970s.
Does anybody else feel good to know that in Alexis's actual business meetings, he still rolls off in his chair to grab Transformers?
Does it with him?
Just to show
Did you still walk off to get wine?
Oh, he did it at the start today, and I had a sort of a mini.
Go for it.
Right, so I've got more questions. So I'll start with Ed. So I'd love to know from both of you, starting with your YouTubers that you watched that you really influenced you and that you loved, and how that changed.
Okay. Well, I started watching YouTube way back. We're talking when YouTube first started out. I was living in London in a little flat, and all my housemates were always out, and it just seemed to be me eating a sad microwavable meal for one. And
Bill's character.
I was dabbling in collecting some of the old bots, because I think back in 2000, I was in uni. I bought a box Soundwave in the Corn Exchange in Leeds. I saw it and thought I had to have that. I had no money. I ate noodles for about a month to get this Soundwave in its box. And from then on, I was always kind of buying some old bots here and there. And then when YouTube first came out, I was watching Graham, the Collector 75. I mean, he's been on it for ages. Ray, Isle of Mess, and Wolfgang, Gerard. I used to just watch these guys talk about toys that I liked when I was a kid, and one day I thought, well, why can't I do this? And then I met some wonderful people. I met you guys, Brad, and so many other people who I'm not going to name here. And one thing, when you guys go to the next TFN, hopefully this year, but we don't know, prepare. People will recognize you, and it will freak you out, because you'll be like, oh, and this is going to happen to you, Transformers the Show guys. People are going to know who you are. And it's going to be hilarious, and you're going to love it.
Yeah, but don't you get a bit worried? It's like, because I had Richard and Rudy, and then after watching their stuff, I decided that when they're coming onto the show, I need to watch their stuff. You know, I ended up starting collecting G.I. Joe figures. It's like, you know,
Yeah.
it convinced me.
Yeah, because it's
opens
the
doorways.
it's the thing, isn't it? You see something, and it's the equivalent of when you're in school, you see something in the playground that you want,
Yeah.
and you know, we can't go out at the moment, and that's what it is. But you see something in a video, you think, oh, I want that, and I have to kind of thank and also blame Jamie for showing that you could get the Rainmaker siege molds. He posted it last week, and I sent Brad a text message saying, "Convince me, don't get these." And Ed, go on, Ed. You know you really want them. Get it. And I was like, that's validation.
He's an enabler.
He is. We enable.
It's true. Enabled.
Brad probably just went, "This is the way."
This is the way. We go shopping together as me and mine and Ed's meetups. Like we've done like the lockdown highlights, to be honest, of when we've been able to meet up and go shopping, and we have done it. We go to Smith's down in southern Cardiff, and we have a good look around, and we get a Subway, and that's kind of the thing we do. And it's just been a real when we could, it was something to really look forward to, wasn't it?
It was amazing, and
yeah.
I can remember I hadn't been out for ages, and two grown men going into Smith's Toys, and it was just amazing. The toys just looked fantastic, and I think we were in there just wandering around looking at the box and looking at the Lego, and it was just, I still think about that day. We had so much fun, and it was a real tonic during a really rough time for a lot of people.
Next time we should wear clothes though, because that was a bad move.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's always touch and go with me, you know. I decided today.
It's like that Smiths is on point, isn't it? Because it's like Toys R Us, but without like fucking loads of prams.
Back in the old days,
Toys R Us used to piss me off with.
Yeah,
like proper.
Do you remember you used to have to go through like that shit aisle to start with?
Yeah. Some toys you can't grab.
The good toys.
I'm 6'3", and there's still toys in Smiths I can't get at. I have to go. Excuse me, can you?
Don't you feel like good being an adult?
Toy for me.
You've got all the wee kids going, "Daddy, I want this," and Daddy says, "Not today," and then you go, "I can get it."
Yeah, you start throwing elbow.
Fuck you, father.
I like
Disposable income.
I like what you said about how you see other YouTubers do something, and you're watching it, and you're not a YouTuber necessarily, but you just think, "Oh, I want to get one of them as well." Because if we can get that kind of subliminal messaging into people, I mean, just imagine what you could do with that. Just imagine the results you could get.
I was going to say, Paul, can you make sure next time we get on some...
I'm in the majority here. You won't convince me.
You're not. You are.
Can you
that
get on?
Such a lie.
Because Jamie
brick
is...
with wings.
For Jamie's benefit, can you get on next time some My Little Pony collectors so Jamie can research on that?
I'm not doing that. It's because of freaking Brad. I'll probably start collecting masks now as well.
Oh, but the mask toys are kind of cool.
They are. They break though.
What's the black one you've got with
the jackhammer
Cliff Diver? I've got that one. That's what I've got. I've got that one.
I've always wanted it.
Switchblade.
Do you collect other stuff?
Switchblade.
Yeah,
Switchblade is awesome. I want
that one.
Beautiful. Mence is actually
I also
selling
collect
Switchblade.
Lego.
Is he?
He does.
Brad also enables me to get Lego because I've really tried to ratchet back because obviously I've got a newborn baby, and I've sold quite a lot of stuff with Brad's help on eBay, but I'm also getting stuff in as well. So I feel much more in control of my collection now because it got to critical mass a few years ago. I mean, this room was basically all shelves behind me with loads of bots, and it was a fun time. But then one day I looked at it and thought, half of the bots here I'm not even getting any joy out of. And
we offed quite a lot, didn't we? I think we made about $2,000 this year. We sold a lot of Ed stuff.
It's
we made you a decent
but I
amount,
feel so
didn't
much
we?
better for it as well. I feel a bit more
I've
healthy.
always done that. I've always sold and whatever I collect, whether it's video games or Lego. I've got loads of Lego. I don't sell that so much because the kids play with it. But Transformers, I've sold loads of my Transformers. The Chug stuff's all gone. Video games, Star Trek stuff. Whatever it is, I'm quite happy to churn over stuff to fund other stuff.
Yeah,
I'm into
same with
DC
games.
parts of the room. Yeah,
if you treat them like
I do
commodities,
games.
you can always get them back. I mean, like Springer's a good
yeah.
example. I bought that Siege Springer, hated him, and then I rebought my 30th one because I quite like it. And
He asked me like the week after, have
I've-
you sold Springer? I was like, I went last week, mate.
I've got one example of that. This one here, the Open and Play Big Spring, that's the third one I've bought. Because I like it.
Really?
Third time.
Third time, he's just so much fun. He's so much fun. Oh, I love. It's the one thing about his windshield, right? It expands, and you put an extra bit in to make it bigger for a race car, or contracts to make it smaller for a helicopter. I thought that was quite. He isn't the most elegant looking bot when he's in bot mode, but I thought he's very clever and very simple engineering. I will convey that when I do the comparison. But I just thought, as you said, like I look behind them and going, I could sell a lot of this and go, do I actually get? And every now I'm thinking, do I get value from this?
Maybe we should do an episode like on how to sell stuff on eBay off of forums.
Yeah,
because I don't really have the confidence. I see Andy do something, so if Andy sells something which I just happen to have, I'll just paste and copy what he's wrote, and then that's how I sell something. And if he doesn't, I just keep it in storage up in the wall.
I think it's really interesting what you guys were saying though, because I think I reached that point where I had so many Transformers, and I didn't have necessarily as many as other people, but to me, and certainly to my wife, I had so many Transformers, and I'd look at some of them and think, I never touched them.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm brutally honest, I've got no real connection to the characters. I bought them because, oh, it's Transform. Oh, it's another Transform. Oh, I'll buy another. Oh, I like that look of that one. And then you reach a point where you're like, well, I reached a point in my collecting where now I try to collect the ones that I really want rather than collecting everything, because it just isn't viable for me to collect everything. You know,
it's too much space.
I wouldn't be able to feed the kids and all the rest of it. Oh, I'd have to sell them, which I have tried, but I'm not getting a decent price.
Use a tent in the back.
The market's bottomed out. But it is. I think when as you get kind of like mature through your collecting, you start off with wanting to get every single thing. You have to. I mean, I used to walk into like a Toys R Us or a Smith's, and if there was a wave, you got the whole wave. It doesn't matter if you wanted them. You just got them. Whereas now I look at the wave and I'll say,
you feel really dirty then.
And now, you did, in a good way. But now you kind of sit back and you think, well, actually, out of those 5 bots, I maybe want 2 or 3 of them.
I'm not there yet.
The other 2.
Yeah, it's good to cherry.
Well, you're still quite young when you're quite a youngster when it comes to the collecting though of Transformers. Because I mean, how many years has it been now for you, Jamie? I remember when me and you first started messaging because you bought something off me, and it was like right at the beginning, and you were asking about, well, you know, what are prices like and what characters are there, and it's kind of amazing to see like the journey you've been on, because your collection now is incredible of certainly of the modern bots, but also even of a lot of the G1 stuff you've managed to get in, like the Micromasters.
And the Pretenders, I absolutely love
the Pretenders.
Oh, love the Pretenders.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Iguanus, that's the one I'd want to get.
Oh, I think everyone wants to get that, and he wasn't the least in Europe, was he?
No, he was one of the ones like Iguanus, Bugley, and there was a third one whose name is
Bowie.
David Bowie. It was
I would
Very the Pretender.
buy that if I could see him on eBay.
Right, cool. Listen, that was awesome. Thank you so much for coming on tonight. Please come back. Like, you're always welcome. Like, literally every week if you want to come back.
Definitely.
Every Friday.
Just kick Alexis. It's fine. We'll make room.
Oh, no.
I'm joking. I'm joking. I meant Jamie.
They ain't paying me enough to kick me out, so.
Thank you, guys. It's been great. It's been great fun.
Oh, no.
Awesome.
I'm going to hand over to Alexis to finish the show if he apparently started it.
So, just want to say thank you very much to our guests. Thank you, Brad. Thank you, Ed, ExillionXLR, Bumblejumper82. Thanks to my other hosts, Paul, Jamie, Andy. What's our Twitter, Jay?
Transformers the Show UK, so I have no idea what it is anymore. Brilliant.
That'll do.
You want to follow us on Instagram? Instagram, we are Transformers the Show. We will see you next Saturday night at 7 p.m. It's been an absolute joy hosting tonight. Back to Paul next week, regular show. Love you. Good night. All right. Recording.
Well, that's you.
Sorry, it's my phone voice. Jay, do you want to record as well?
Was that Mrs. Tart then?
No, we'd have muted her.
Oh.
I'm a fellow teacher. I should have been far more charitable, but it was fucking hilarious.
Looking forward to the outtakes. I want to drink wine.
I was going to do it because we've got guests.
Come on, Jamie.
So I don't want
Okay,
Come on, Jamie.
We'll cut that out.
I thought we actually got to see their videos. We don't.
No, sorry.
You're destroying the illusion.
I've now seen behind the curtains. You know,
it's all falling apart.
Don't never look behind the curtains.
Why Rohan asked a question and you guys just ignore the question.
Don't check behind the sofa.
You managed to pick the one photo, Alexis, where you can't actually see his head because of the wing thing.
That's my preference for Tinder as well.
It seems really colourful because all the others were black and white.
Oh dear, yeah, it is pretty bright.
Do you not look at my beauty? You make it pregnant. You know.
Yeah. It's nothing. Talking animals works. Has everyone seen the Robert Downey Jr. movie Dr. Dolittle? It's funny. The animals are good. It works. The talking gorilla's brilliant.
He does a mean Welsh accent as well.
Or Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, he throws a Welsh accent around all
This,
our movies.
this is where
apparently.
Paul would
Apparently
be
it's a
saying.
huge-
This is where Paul would be saying. Right, come on, let's move on.
He's not here though, is he? We can do a
No,
proper
but he's not-
Yeah, they're awesome. The details.
I used to buy like.
I will
It's
do
quite awesome.
I do actually have some photographs to share with him. So I'm a little bit disappointed, I'll be honest, in him. Just because
Are you doing your review of him now?
We're not doing that now.
No. I sent you the notes, the running order.
Okay.
He didn't
Thanks for
read
not looking at them.
I told him the running order before we
I
started.
wasn't sure.
Paul.
That's
Because
just
the
for my
photos show it off really well.
my personal pleasure, that is.